Big shout out to everyone. It's Jrod on point. Thank you for being here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to Amy Conway. Good morning to HH4. Thank you for being here. Very appreciate it. As always, the host of the most, the team to the tango, the gene to the jangle, Jrod on point. Give me a mic check. 1 2 1 2. If you hear me, big shout out to Rock Shock. Thank you for being here. Very appreciate it. Thank you so much. What Raksha said, hold on, let me see. Raksha said, what and who is that? I don't know. Listen, we could tell. I'm gonna text you later about it. I'm gonna text you or text me whenever you're ready for a text. Big shout out to Rock Shock from Rock Shock Nation. Thank you so much. Big sponsor of the On Point True Crime. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Big shout out to Amy Conway, main moderator, and super duper sniper in the chat. Big deep pop, big deep pop. Familia, we in the mood, we in the radio stuff, we in the podcast today. I don't know if y'all hear me in that mood, all radio stuff, working on it. Big shout out, big shout out. No camera today, no camera today. We on the radio stuff. We in the breaking news stuff. Amy Conway love a little laugh. These days we have to most definitely have a little laugh between everything that is going on, probably sometimes in our personal life or also around the world, things that affect us, out of food for thought, you know. It's always good to have a smile on the face and look at the sunshine, smell the flowers, kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. Big shout out to everyone in the chat. Cave Lynn in the building. Big shout out to Cave Lynn. Cave Lynn, say hi. Make sure you talk to me in the chat, ladies. Welcome. Thank you so much for y'all to be here. I need you to talk to me. I need you to talk to me tonight because we're gonna work. We're gonna talk about the Idaho full Bryan Kohberger case, malicious prosecution, and false arrest? Question mark. Checkmate. Part two. Big shout out to Rock Shock with the gifted membership. Thank you so much. Very appreciated as always. By the way, Rock Shock, Amy Conway said that she enabled the gifted. I'm still trying to figure it out from my side of things. Excuse my slowiness and try to figure it out about the membership situation so I could give y'all myself eternal membership if I could. But big shout out any hit different. Glowing in the build. Glowy just got some memberships. Big shout out to Glowy, glowing in the building. Thank you for being here. Very appreciate it. Glowy got a membership. Sharon ASP got a membership from Rock Shock Nation. Noel got a membership from Rock Shock Nation. Y'all be able to get to the vault and watch all the exclusive. And y'all could go through the whole history of this channel, even way before the first channel. When the first channel it was live. Y'all will be able to enjoy content that is in the vault behind the memberships. And I wish y'all all enjoy hard work, dedication, work in collaboration from not just myself but many other content creators. That even though if we don't talk today at this day today with those content creators, with some content creators we have worked in the past, we still have a lot of love and respect for those that have worked with us, even though would be discrepancies in the past or whatnot. I always like to be a man first and be good people at the same time. So, what I mean? It's always good to give back and recognize that sometimes, as grown adults, we could forgive, but never forget. You straight up, you forgive, but we never forget. But at the same time, we just move on with our life because there's better things going on in the future. And I'm very happy for everyone in the chat to be here. Very appreciated. I want to send a shout out to Speakman Holding. Speakman Holding could be with us today. He tried it yesterday. He was in the party song, you know what I'm saying? Somewhere down south, somewhere I don't know, not doxing my brother, but he goes around the world, but he was somewhere, with the Latino beautiful music all the way from, down south, Central America. You know what I'm saying? Not say the most. Big shout out to Mexico. Big shout out to Mexico. Our Mexican brothers and sisters. Big shout outs to y'all. We cannot forget the struggle. Everything is for a reason in life. So big shout out to Mexico. I don't know. Speak by holding was we a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You heard me? Speak by holding all over the world type of guy, international, handling deep business, not just the business, deep business. He couldn't be with us tonight. I left him alone because I know, sometimes signal is tough. Signals is tough when you know what I'm saying, around the world. You gotta have a Starlink. Big shout out to Elon Musk. What I mean? You gotta have, what I mean? You gotta be plugged in. Pause no diddy. So by the time I hit him up, it was like a couple of minutes before the live stream, you know what I'm saying? Everything straight, everything good, everything on radar, you know what I'm saying? That's why it was a little delay, everything good, everything gravy. I like to make y'all wait. I'm sorry, not sorry. You know how I do it. Big shout out, big shout out to listen, man, it hit different. It hit different when listen, man. It hit different when Rockshot come with the gifted. It hit different. And I repeat, you see, sometimes goes upside the people's head. You know what I'm saying? You got to be correct. Big shout out, and it hit different to Rockshock Nation. Big sponsor of the On Point True Crime. Thank you so much. Very appreciated, Rockshock, everything that you do. Not just for me, but I know you do this as well with multiple content creators. And outside of content creation, you support a lot of people, and we appreciate you. You love and support. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. We need to shout out. Big shout out to all those new members. Big shout out to all those members. And then Rockshot. Rockshot hitting with the 20 gifted right after that. Let me hear you screaming in the chat. Big shout out, and it hit different. Ow. It hit different. All that love. Ow. Coming from Rock Shock Nation, big shout out, very so much appreciate it. Wishing ya wealth, love, health, and all the beautiful things that it comes with love and appreciation. Thank you so much. Great vibe to Rock Shock Nation. Thank you so much for the financial support. It hit different. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Well, we're gonna start. We're gonna welcome those members. We're gonna go through the list of members of tonight with those 20 gifted. Big shout out those 20 gifted. Big shout out with the total 30 gifted from Rock Shock Nation. Big shout out. Thank you so much. Big appreciation. Big shout out. Pop, pop, pop. And it hit different when Rock Shock Nation come through with the gifted. Ow. Ow, ow. Big shout out. Rockshock Nation coming with the two, swinging out the bat. Ball going at the left field. It seems that he's a double. Rockshock True Crime throwing the dub. She said, trying hard to get Amy. I love her. You know what though? It's so good. You know what I mean? I think she just turned on the whole gifted thingy. And again, and I repeat, sorry for my slowness and try to figure it out, this whole system, but you know what I'm saying? I don't even know if we as content creator could give memberships though. I would have give to her like, you know what I'm saying, an eternal MVP, VIP, the On Point Familia, the On Point Familia MVP, VIP, eternal membership. So y'all could be all go. Please make sure that y'all all go members, new members. Please make sure that y'all all go to the vault. It's a lot of content there. All the members, you know how we do it. You know how we do it. You're allowed to enjoy the content and share and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? You just whatever content, not just the members, but the moderators too. Even the subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you subscribe to us. You know what I mean? But very in particular, the members and moderators the most. That they have the higher priority. Um, I want the members to feel comfortable if anything in the content that is involved, make sure you link the link. Make sure you tag me at least, show me some love. And y'all allowed to put out anything content that y'all want to share, comment, go to your live streams and talk about it. It's all good and gravy. I appreciate y'all so much, everything that y'all do. But we're gonna welcome members today from Rock Shock Nation. Big shout out, and he hit different 30 new members. Ow! From Rock Shock Nation. Big shout out, and he hit different. Thank you so much. Very appreciated the support. Let's go through the new list of members and welcome them like they deserve. Big shout out to Joanne Bradley. Welcome, True Crime. Welcome. The True Crime community showing love through Rock Shock Nation. Thank you so much. So we got Joanne Bradley. Welcome. We welcome Joanne Moen. We welcome Beautiful River Girl. If I slaughter anyone's name, please forgive me. Big shout out to Ends Delight. Big shout out to Maggie B62. Big shout out to Dovelli Creations. Big shout out to Vic Victorni. Big shout out to Noel. Big shout out to Sharon. Glowy. Big shout out to Glowy. Welcome back. Welcome back. Big shout out to Glowy. Thank you so much, Rock Shock Nation. We also have Cash Puppy Love. Big shout outs and welcome. We got Bree Isam. Thank you so much. New member. Shammy. Thank you so much. Very appreciated from Rockshot Nation, the gifted. Maria, welcome. Maria Double DL. Big shout out to you, Maria. Welcome. Pink Kelly, welcome. Miles, welcome. Big shout out to your Rockshot Nation coming through with the gifted. Ron John. Big shout out to Ron John. Welcome back. Moderator and member from On Point True Crime. Thank you so much. Lily Moon. Big shout out. She got a gifted. Kelly. Big shout outs and he hit different. Welcome to the membership. Make sure that y'all all enjoy the content. Please make sure that y'all also share and make sure your link is like that. Everybody come and become a member and get to enjoy the full live streams and the full content that we have in the memberships and the vault. Thank you so much, very so much. I appreciate it. Jamie's Cowboy, welcome back. Luisa Molina, welcome with the membership from Rock Shock Nation. Big shout outs and hit different. Divine timing. Big shout out to Divine Timing with a gifted from Rock Shock Nation. Jane Bosch, big shout out to Jane Bosch and welcome. Has a gifted membership from Rock Shock Nation. Lynn's, big shout out to Lynn's, big shout out to Rachel, Sean X, Kerr, Twisted Tales of True Crime with the membership. Lee Ann, Hope, big shout out with the membership, and Mills, Amy Liz, big shout out with the membership. Thank you so much. Rock Shock True Crime, Rock Shock Nation. We appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Thank you. It hit different. Ow! It hit different. Big shout out to Rock Shock Nation. Very appreciate it. Amy Khan would say, I know I turned it on. She checked it. She'll try it again. Big shout outs and it hit different. Let me see what we got here. We got Rock Shock Nation on hell no on the Jamie's Cowboy. That was a big no. A big shout out. And it hit different. Amy Conway say thank you. Something wrong. It didn't work. I looked into it. I'm so upset. Don't worry, Amy Conway. I'm looking into it too. Cause guess what? No one better than you deserve an eternal, infinite MVP, VIP membership, the highest of the highest class. We appreciate so much Amy Conway in this channel. Big shout out. I will get you eventually. Eventually, sorry, love. No worries, no headaches. Everything is good. Big shout out to everyone that is listening to Jrod on Point. I'm the host of the most, the team to the tango, Gene to the Django. Your favorite brother, your mother's favorite son, the Black Sheep. I welcome everybody. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here tonight. In this amazing morning, it's 1:20 a.m. It's 1:20 a.m. And it's a beautiful time to start. Thank you for the ladies. Let's work tonight. I want to share with y'all the homework that we started 2 live streams ago. It seems that I'm gonna have to, finish it myself, but guess what? I'm ready, and I've been ready for this all my life to come here and have conversations with our community about the Idaho 4 and Bryan Kohberger case. It's a case of major interest around the world. And as Vinny said, big shout out to Vinny Politan, this is the biggest court case in the docket. And we're talking about it here in Jrod Point. I welcome so much everyone in the chat. Thank you for the love. Very so much appreciated. Raksha said also, Jamie, it's not good. Heads up. The one upset me. Oh, you good? No worries, no stress. She's switching phones. Big shout out to the chat. Big shout out to the chat, Cave Lynn. You're pretty awesome as well, and you have a generous heart. Yes, indeed. Rock Shock is amazing, though. She's a great, great person. She supports the true crime community and others around the world, because that is confirmed. Big shout outs and it hit different. Amy Conway advise everyone that is watching right now and listening to Jrod on Point and On Point True Crime that please make sure to hit the like button, click like, subscribe, and put some DNA right there in the like button. We promise you, cross fingers, that we are not going to utilize IgG techniques on your DNA. Wink, wink. Big shout out to everyone in the chat. Rock Shock, Kiely, Jrod. Way back, yes, family indeed. It's a long time coming, and we appreciate so much everyone, not just Rock Shock, that she's amazing, Amy Conway, and we have the Cave Lynns, and we have the C&Ds and beautiful Joanne from Utah, and we have all these beautiful ladies and gentlemen that is being here in this channel for so long, and it don't matter what the name that the channel has. Y'all always being here because we always on point, and we are the On Point family, which I appreciate y'all being here in the chat. We're gonna have some homework. We're gonna be talking about the Idaho 4 Bryan Kohberger case, malicious prosecution, and false arrest. Question mark. Checkmate. Because we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna talk about a few details, and hopefully we could all um be at least in the same page if we could, or we could at least agree to disagree in a good way that we could actually just with what we know today. Because again, I want you to see these with what we know today. For those that has done your homework with what we know that is public overall today. This is the type of conversation that we're gonna have here in this wonderful morning with all of y'all here. Thank you so much. Yes, yeah, she's the best. Yes, yes, indeed. Love rock. Yes, we all do. Big shout out to me, Conway. Wonder how many. I have bought too many to count, but Jrod deserves. Listen, you know what though? I don't have the number, but I'm gonna try to get the number though. I'm gonna try to get the number though, because it has to be around the hundreds right now. I have to be. It had to be around 100 though. It had to be. I'm gonna check though, which we appreciate you for the sponsorship though. Um, Hopefully, we could have you. Let me know. You know me. Always, you can always tell me. Drop the link. It's always good to have you here with us today. I was expecting no one to pull up in the panel, but if you want to pull up, let me know. We get you on the panel, but it's gonna be a pretty long conversation. I would love for you to be up here, though. You know what I'm saying? Actually, if you're in the mood, if you got time to, say hi, pull up and say hi. I'm gonna drop the MVP VIP pass. I'm gonna do that though. Hold on. Just in case we could have the grace and be honored having up here one of our greatest sponsor and family and friend, sister, mother. You know what I'm saying? We could call Rock Shock many, many, many titles in this beautiful partnership and familyship. It's a beautiful thing having a sister like her with us. Hopefully we could have the honor, have it up here saying hi. You know what I mean? Pulling up, have a conversation. I probably let's see if she got time for a little court case commentary. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully she have time for a court case commentary, because you know what though, we love some rock shock commentary. I love me some rock shock true crime case commentary. You know that MVP VIP pass incoming. Thank you so much and very appreciated for everyone that is listening to Jrod on point and on point true crime. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, I don't think Joanne has pulled up today though. Big shout out to Joanne from Utah. Big shout out to Joanne. Yeah, Joanne hasn't pulled up today. Right? Hold on, let me go up real quick. Joanne hasn't pulled up today. Big shout out to Joanne. Joanne from Utah. Big shout out to Joanne. It hit different, dude. It does. It do hit different. Let me put on top MVP VIP pass for Rock Chalk mods. members, subs, don't pop up here to waste your time and get blocked. Is most advised. We try to have a clear conversation about this case without all that goofy stuff. So heads up, ain't no problem with people getting sniped tonight. It hit different. So don't waste your time coming up here with that goofy shit. And come up here to have a conversation. The common sense about this case, we're gonna be listening to one of the hearings, most important hearings, because they're all important though. But if you ask me in the very beginning, we question a lot of things about this case. And I wanna talk about the first arguments. I want to talk about the first arguments in the latest hearing. Because again, I believe that a lot of people has already do the homework in this case, and especially in particularly these latest, let's say 3-2 hearings. If you ask me, especially to that hearing about the Frank hearing, it was very telling. If you ask me, it was very telling. I was paying attention and taking my time to actually replay things over and over because I like to make sure that it takes. I want to make sure when I have a conversation with you, I have to be on point. And if I'm not on point, I'm damn sure that I'm close to it. I do take pride and joy on making sure that my standards are met. So that means big shout out to Rock Shock. I see you in the back. I see you in the back. Let me finish my monologue real quick. So I like to reach my standards at all time. And I just want to share with you my thoughts about these very, very hardline, high stakes all over around the world. Big shout out to Rock Shock. Big shout out to Rock Shock. Thank you so much for being here. Can you hear me? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Rock Shock with Jrod on point. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
A round of applause to Rock Shock, please.
Round of applause to Jrod.
And
That's
the people goes wild.
yeah, and I don't know how well you know Bianca, but she's very loyal too. She stuck with me from the beginning. She's a
No,
sweetheart.
no, you know what though? I'll tell you what, like knowing you for such a time, such a long time, I know that everyone that you're gonna send this way, I know that everyone that when they come across your thoughts, I know that you know that they will enjoy that membership first and foremost. And I know that you're killing two birds at once. And I thank you for that.
Yeah, I want you to know she's very loyal. She's loyal too. And I love Amy. Dang it, I keep trying to get Amy a membership though. Darn.
Tell me about it. I've been trying to figure that out over here, but it's like at this point, it's like I don't think that the YouTube
Yeah,
allows you
you're
to
allowed
give.
like 10, I think 10 a month free as a creator.
You know what, though? I need to look into that because she's gonna be the first one that she's gonna get it. You're gonna be the second one too. Yeah, yeah, too. Yeah, too. Y'all gonna get membership for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you
Little
don't
by
get to
little,
pick
we're gonna get to it though.
yeah, you don't get to pick it though. You don't get to pick the members. When you it's just like when I buy them, it's random. when you drop them, it's going to be random.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so we got to make sure that she's got on her gifting. Yes.
Oh, yo, that should be dope. So it's like a raffle.
It's like a raffle. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll have to ask Bianca, but I don't think she had hers on. And she went and fixed it yesterday and she got one today. So we got to help Amy get hers on.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. As soon as I get to figure that out, though, I'ma do that. Actually, I'ma look into it, and then I'm hopefully listen. You know what? I'm gonna do my homework. You're gonna have to apologize me if I don't get to it, but I'm gonna try the 100% to get to it for the next live stream, and we do it the next live stream because I think that'll be very interesting. It want to encourage people to pull up, see if they get a membership and whatnot. I think it'll be a good thing.
Absolutely. That's why it was share memberships. You know what I mean?
Rockshock, how you doing? Talk to me about you, enough about me before we start the show.
Oh,
How you
I've been
doing?
fighting cancer, brother.
You been what?
I've been fighting cancer, skin cancer. Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, though. Oh my God, I
yeah,
haven't heard from you a long time.
yeah. 3 weeks ago. Well, yeah, man, I had to sleep sitting up, but 3 weeks ago, I had some removed on my face and a spot. It's skin cancer, a spot they've been to 3 times, and they went almost to my skull. And so I'm getting really bad migraines. So I might not be able to stay up very long, but I'm gonna try. But now I gotta go to a neurologist because they went really deep, brother, really deep.
You know what though, and I didn't know that, and we're gonna be praying for you for health, and we're gonna be praying for you for strength, and you and your husband and everyone of the family. We're gonna make sure. Now, I will be pay attention a little bit more closer though.
Well, no,
I'm sorry to
you
hear
wouldn't
that
have
though.
known. You wouldn't have known. And just a FYI, my oldest daughter is pregnant. She'll be 30. Our birthday is April 17th. She was my 22nd birthday present. So I'm gonna be 57. My oldest daughter's gonna be 35, and I think she now watches YouTube. I don't know why she started, but anyway, pregnant with twins. It's been really rough. We've had to go all over the United States to try to save these twins, and we're trying to get her to 30 weeks. So it's been rough, brother. It's been really rough dealing with family stuff, but you know what? God's got us. I do feel that way. God's got us.
You know what? I gotta say that I'm very honored to have you here, and you know what though, as long as you could stay for whatever time you could stay, we appreciate you. We mean it from the bottom of my heart, so might as well, you know what though, so we could have a great take from you. First and foremost, before we start, um, let me have for far as whatever at this day today, you have the homework that you have done up to this day today. Can we have a hot take from you though?
Oh, sure. You know, I've been working this Kansas mom's case. Uh, Two ladies got murdered in the Panhandle by five cult members. Um, the 28th of March, it had been a year. We are just now going through all the hearings that keep getting continued. Looking at the death penalty for all five. They got it was over a child custody anyway. Come to find out, there was some SA being talked about. I got the paperwork, so I know it happened. The grandma that killed these two women. I don't make any excuses. All five of these people go down, but there is paperwork showing that there was her grandchildren were SA. So I'm a grandma. That makes it kind of hard, but yeah, all five need to go down. They killed these two women. One of them was a worker for the state, there for supervised visitation. Her husband was a minister, and they buried them in a freezer 10 feet in the ground.
Oh
Uh,
my God.
that's where we're at with it. But I'll tell you what, I had a gun pulled straight to my face. I didn't pinch. Out in the middle of the country, a lot has happened, a lot of death threats, but I'm not scared. I'm still going strong, brother.
You
That's
know what? You know
quickest
what
to catch
though?
up on it.
Go ahead. I was very taken by the gravity of the case though, but I didn't follow it because I'm so preoccupied right now with the finalization of the Kylie Rodni case that hopefully it'll come soon.
Oh, I
I
hope so.
can't say I can't say how soon, but I was so preoccupied with that and with the Idaho 4 that I haven't been able to look into that. and like, yeah, I know that you do such a great work about it. You know what I'm saying? I knew that
Thank
you
you.
you got this. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm still paying attention to the Idaho Poor. I'm still paying attention to Kylie Rodney. I'm still paying attention. I wasn't in on the Kylie Rodney, but I'd like to see that case go full circle and then get to people, because there's no way she was in the back of that car. There's no way she drove a car in there in that lake.
Thank you for that take, though. Actually, send me a title, the name of the case, because I wanna make a clip out of that, so like that, people get informed about the case that you're working on. That'll be great. I could do a clip of that, and I could put it on the channel or send it to you so you put it on the channel. We'll figure it out though.
Thanks.
But thank you so much, and we appreciate you. So, let's far as the Idaho 4, like, what's your take, your up to date take on the Idaho 4?
Well, my up to date take is they lied, lied, and lied. I don't believe Dylan and Bethany at all. I don't even believe they were at home. Um, and I definitely don't believe Bryan Kohberger did it. And I've always said prayers to our soldier, Brent Kopaka, uh, an Army Ranger who was suffering with PTSD, and I believe he was murdered. But that's my feelings. Like, I think they took him out, and I don't know why. I follow you up. I've been keeping up. That's where I'm at with it. And I think Ann and her team is going to blow this out of the water. I don't think he's going to get charged. I really don't.
You see, it's very interesting, like that take of Dylan and Bethany not being inside the home. As I don't know, you saying, actually, before I go into that take, let me send a shout out to Tanel Ray. Thank you so much for being here. She said that she would like a title for that case, in particular as well, please, and thank you to True Rock Shock True Crime. So yes, send me the name of that case. Send me a text with the name of that case. Or if not, I just go real quick to your channel and look into it real quick, and I copy and
It's
paste
uh,
something.
it's really easy. It's pound Kansas Moms, and you can find it.
Kansas moms, I got you.
Yep, that's hashtag Kansas Moms, and you'll find it.
You know what though? Let's send the hashtag here. Kansas moms. We're gonna do it here.
I'll do it. I'll do it right now.
I'm gonna do it too. We'll put it on the chat, ladies and gents. If anyone in the chat wanna hashtag Kansas moms, we will appreciate. Thank you so much, because the gravity of these cases is like, is, we have heard a lot far as other cases, but man,
You know what's strange about that is because I'm from Kansas, and when this came out, there was nobody talking about it, and I saw it on Melanie Little.
Kansas
And,
mom, right? Moms.
Kansas Moms.
Okay, got you.
And anyway, it was a case in Kansas, about 5.5 hours from me. But the other lady, the one was the mother of the grandchildren, and Jillian was a state worker who was there for supervised visits. My maiden name is Kelly, Kelley, spelled exactly like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I had all
I
my
bet you
family.
it shocked you though. I bet you it shocked you, like the closeness of not just the particularly of the name though, but it's like the type of case.
Yeah, it was a lot of shock. I do a lot. I I do a lot with drug court here. I do a lot with the love floor, which is our divorce floor. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, there's a lot that happens in a divorce, and this is not unusual. But the way they did it, and a cult that did it, is makes it so much worse.
So you know what though, I really would love to get into that at some point. You know what though, we should schedule something in your channel or in my channel though, wherever you want to,
You're always welcome.
and
Always
we
welcome.
we talk about it, because I'm very interested though, because many times, um actually, I just have to sometimes take a break. As far as I'm so riled up, not just in the home thing with the wife and kids, but also the business. Again, I got many excuses. You know what I'm
I've seen
saying?
you in my chat, Jrod. You
Yeah, but I wish I could be more often. I wish I could be a little bit more proactive and be more of a participant in your show, though. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
it's okay. Listen, I know how hard you're working over here. I also was around when your other channel got taken, and we're getting you back up there. That's what I got to say.
Thank you, Raksha,
You
and I
deserve it.
appreciate you. And you have done that for a very, very, very long time, which we appreciate you. So far as that take about Bethany and Dylan not being at the house, let's because oh my God, I have heard so much about that theory, and it actually always has caught my curiosity. Because if you ask me, right, would they stay inside the house for all those hours knowing what happened? When
No,
having
no way.
sorority sisters right next door?
No way. If they'd have been there, they'd have been freaking out, in my opinion.
I mean, I agree, because then they had they because again, if at this point, if Dylan and Bethany were in the house, what was happening? Okay, that should show within the text. That should show within the cell phone data. They definitely had to say something that it will refer to them acknowledging something of gravity happening within the house, and the roommates. Like, I don't think that, even though sometimes you don't like people, I'm gonna put it like this, though. In the only way, there is nothing in those texts that is direct incrimination, not just to them, but to other students, is if they already knew what was about to happen. And while it's happening, what they are communicating is coded, especially when Dylan said she's done. Like, it made it look like she either in trouble or she's participating of what's going on.
I think she knew ahead of time what was going to go on. I think both of them did. See, if you remember, you might not remember this, but my husband lived next door to Dennis Rader, the BTK, for 10 years. So I'm from where the BTK is. He's literally 38 miles from me right now. But I will tell you this, if who did this, which I believe is more than one, if they just saw Dylan, she would not be alive. You leave nobody alive.
Right, because I mean,
You're not in that
again,
much of a hurry to get out of there. You're going to unalive everybody.
is let's put it like this: while it's happening, let's say, right, let's say it was some kind of indication of trouble. And you see, because it's two things to this, though. It's two theories that is being very hot out there. And before we go to those theories, let's big shout out to Tanel. She said, did they call JD? Did they go over to King Row,
With the guys, to the
to the
guys, what
to
happened
the
in those
guys?
3 hours between 4:30 and 7:30. Listen, if you know the court papers show where Dylan was at, or where Bethany absolutely was at a hotel with a group of people. They stayed the night at a hotel. It's in the court papers. I saw it on Lana.
Is that why she don't want nothing to do with it? And Dylan, it was trying to include her in this case, and that's why she don't have nothing to do with this. Because if you ask me, this is the whole reason why that
Everything
she
that
don't even
Bethany said
want to,
was about
like
Dylan.
that she don't even want to do nothing about this case. But then at the same time, it contradicts it contradicts. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if, because again, the paper could hold whatever you put on it, right?
Hmm.
But it contradicts the defense team when they said that Bethany Funk could exonerate Bryan Kohberger, and the only way that she could be able to do that is being inside the house or having some final
Or
knowledge of what's going on.
or if she knew what was going on, that's why she was at the hotel. Or listen, I haven't heard this theory out there, and I don't know if it is true or not because I haven't heard it. But what if by chance he was at the hotel with all these other people? It seemed to be a whole group there. That whole group that went on that morning had been at the hotel all night where Bethany was.
And that's where they went to clean up.
I don't think they did the cleanup. Mm-mm. I don't
No,
think
no,
they.
but I'm talking about it. You saying that's where the killers went to clean up.
No, what I'm saying is Bethany was not at that house at all that night.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, well, in the court papers, it shows her hotel she stayed at. I think it was Holiday Inn.
Right.
It shows the receipt and everything. So everything they got from Bethany was from what Dylan told her. But what does Dylan really know? Because I don't believe she was there either.
Yeah, and then it caused my curiosity what actually Bethany knows and how she knows about it. For even Ann
Exploratory.
Taylor, like to Ann Taylor to say like the testimony that she has it will exonerate Bryan Kohberger. Like that's serious though. You know what I'm saying? And he's very particular though. I like that hot take though. It's something to look into.
It's a theory. That's what it is. It's a theory.
Right. No, and we love theories and look into them and stuff like that. And this is why it caused my curiosity about that theory because it's so interesting though. It's actually something that I believe is relevant. It's something that I might look into. I might ask you a little bit more details later on about it so I could dig into it. And I think that'll be good to browse over it.
Yeah, and I hear you talk about truth and transparency all the time. I love Lana. I followed her from the get go too, and she digs deep. She does dig deep.
Yeah, I like Lana too, though. Big shout out to Lana. I pick on her because sometimes she pick on me. She knows that even though she don't say it, she knows she picking on me. But big shout out to her. And I tell you what though, Lana's putting so much work in this case that you know what, it's like it's all love, you know what I'm saying? Because you gotta appreciate when people so dedicated, and including harsh reality though, in the way he been like putting it together and stuff like that, like his latest videos. And I was picking on him on delaying so much the moving and stuff like that. But he had a schedule moving already, so he just been preparing, um, moving
I
to the
have
next
not watched
spot.
harsh
You know what I mean?
reality in a long time, a long, long time.
Yeah, he got some good takes though. He got some good takes. I really like the over browsing that he did of the Cyray documents and stuff like that. We're gonna have a conversation about that, but like that topic just came out right now and it's so good. It's good to let the big dogs talk about it and feed the soil for upcoming conversation here in On Point True Crime Forest as the Cyray situation. We're gonna be talking about that though. So Rock Shock, I gotta say I appreciate you so much for being here with us. I wanna just take a look real quick in the very beginning. I don't know how much time you have, but whenever you gotta step out, you listen. We appreciate you so much, but we would love to have at least a take or two about what you see within this court case. Let me know if you want me to pause it whenever you want me to pause it for to bring a hot take, and I will do the same also.
Absolutely, I'm ready. Let's go.
So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, without further ado, let's get to work.
Are we ready to go live? All right, go ahead. Let me know when we're ready, Sandra. All right. We are back on the record in State v. Kohberger, CR 0124316665. We are now, I believe, streaming the, for the record, the defendant is present together with counsel, Ms. Taylor and Ms. Massoff. The state is present and represented by Mr. Thompson, Mr. Nye, and Ms. Jennings. We are now going to hear argument from the parties on the Frank's motions filed by the defense. That will include the Frank's hearing that was held on the IGG issue, as well as the defense's proffer as to the rest of the Frank's issues as to why the court should hold a hearing on those matters, or hold an evidentiary hearing on those matters. Am I missing something we talked about?
Your Honor, I may have missed it, but I thought we were offering argument on suppression IGG.
Well,
I don't wanna listen, I don't wanna beat the donkey with this over and over, but I wanna pause it right there for a second, because it's like they spoke for what? They spoke for a long time, almost an hour before they turn on the cameras. So they pre-plan and they negotiated and they talk about all the seal stuff and whatnot.
Oh, for sure, for sure. They did all this, the things that was under seal that the public can't see.
Right. And what it caused, like, it calls my attention is that at the time of the cameras turning on, the judge took total control of the flow in the room, because now his proposition on how to start the hearing is far away from what he already discussed it and agreed with the defense team and prosecution.
Yeah, I like it that Ann steps up and that's the first thing she addressed.
And it's like he obligating, he forcing the issue of Ann Taylor either staying quiet and going with his flow, even though she know that like what he's doing, because he's looking at her team like is he serious? Like it sounds like the court either purposely or mentally, the judge either glitch and totally forgot what was the pace that he was supposed to go with in the very start, or he purposely wanted to force the issue, making the defense team looking bad from the top with a discrepancy.
Right.
Looking like it's gonna look to the people like, here you go.
Or, I mean, the judge has total control. And believe me, the judge knows what he's doing. He was trying to catch her up, but I believe Ann is on her game. Mike, I
Right.
believe Ann knows exactly. These people that says Ann's no good, no, they're playing chess. They're playing chess, and she's moving her pawns. She's doing a good job.
And I'm so appreciated that you said that the judge wanted to catch her off guard, like he wanted to catch her slipping.
Yeah, I agree.
That'll affirm dominance within the court, and I think it will send the wrong signal to the judge.
Well,
Paris adds like, oh, I got you, like I know I could do this now.
Well, it's also almost like an intimidation factor. You just did a closed hearing, and maybe you thought she wouldn't bring it up, but you see her stand right up. She's saying, wait, maybe I missed it, but hey, we was talking about this.
And you are so on point when you said that. So on point, and I appreciate your commentary. Let's go.
The suppression IGG, we can also argue that.
Because it's like it just hit my head again. I'm sorry for pausing. It just hit my head again. It's just so cliche that the judge wanna not just force the issue, but to show dominance. See, at the same time, if he could catch her slipping, it's gonna break the flow of the move of whatever she was expecting. And at the same time, like you say, it could be used as a court intimidation tactic.
He's the boss, and she knows it, but she's also got a job to do, and she's very good at her job. I think he's testing her. That's what I think.
Ain't that the reason why he probably was chosen?
You know, they fought not to go there, so I don't know. But most of these judges, and including Ann, they're all University of Idaho graduates. They're alumni, you know. But still, she's got a guy's life in her hands. She's
Because
got a
what we have,
brain.
because what we have to really look into, and we had some of us, right, is the thing of the aliens and was the judge. I mean, we know the judge and Hitler connection with the University of Idaho. That is very clear, and it's on record. We're not talking about nothing that is not in the public knowledge of the people. But at the same time, it's like, can people tell that it's just not right for people that are so close to the situation to even be taking care of this case?
I've always felt that way, but you know what? I thought John Judge was really too close to the case. That was my opinion. So I was really glad to see it move. But again, like you said, we're not here, YouTube's for entertainment purposes. We're giving our opinions. We're not here to dog the judge or anybody else. But I do feel like he was trying to show his dominance and also throw her off track.
I mean, moving it to Ada County was like oranges for oranges. Really. It was just more like a cosmetic change.
Yeah, but the jury pool is going to be different.
Yeah, I agree.
That was something that really bothered me too. The jury pool.
Agree, but still though, it's like having to go cowards like running around the town and stuff and talking to people. Like they're already contaminating the future jury pool because it's like Bill Thompson was like, okay, now we still gonna use the legacy media to the purposes of bad publicity, but then at the same time now we having the family members like foot ground and doing footwork, like talking to people in town and stuff. Like I really don't see why the defense teams can pull emotion to stop him from doing that though.
Are you talking about Steve G?
Yeah, and the G family like going around town like promoting their case to the people in town, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, are they doing it in in this county?
But they said that they were doing it. You see, right? If you ask me, I have not seen pictures or video, and I think their lawyer advised them that if you're gonna do it, don't have no pictures or videos of it. Like, but I don't know. I might look into it a little deeper because I browse a little bit, but I really didn't see nothing. But I might browse a little. I
Well, they
might call some.
definitely use the news media.
Yeah, I might call some people that I know they know, but at the same time, I have not gotten nothing of the G's doing that. Far as physical evidence that it shows that they've been doing that.
Well, them
But
text messages.
they say they were doing it.
Yeah, he got text messages. You know something? Listen, I know this is a little off, but while we're talking about Steve G, what is this that Olivia is dating Junior? What is that?
What? I don't know. That's
Am I the
weird.
only one that's heard that?
That's weird. Like, no, I haven't heard that though. I have because
I don't watch
again,
any channels, so it had to be.
I,
I had
I
to see it Atlantis.
yeah. You see, I have not paid attention to that though, because it hasn't been like on my radar far as importance. But it's weird. If indeed that's legit, if you ask me,
See
that's just
Amy's
weird
comment.
as well. Everything else.
See Amy's comment. Chronicles of Olivia in love, guys. Yeah, her and Kaylee's brother is a thing. They're in love.
Cause the thing is, right? Here's the thing that not bother me though, but it's like so shocking, and I use the word shocking because it does shock me that The story is that Kiely, it was a Olivia's fan, and then some way somehow she get full access to the family and whatnot right
But
away.
do you
No
really know?
discussion.
Was she the fan or was Junior the fan? Like now I'm questioning it.
I mean, but if you
It goes deep, brother. It goes deep.
you see though, it's all about the roots of the connection between the whole thing. Because it's like, if you ask me, as a content creator and someone that will be more definite about things, right? I don't like to get into like looking into people like that. So I've been leaving Olivia alone because it's like I don't see her relevant, but at the same time, it always called my attention far as like what was her connection and her easy access, because she's not media. She's not media. Yes, she has a lot of
Right.
subscribers and whatnot, but I gotta say that Kiely being a fan of Olivia, I call that cat. I call that was a make it look like to have an easy connection to the family, so it doesn't look like she already had connections
Yeah, I
to
say
the area,
prove
not
to
just
me
to
that
the area,
Kaylee
but to the
followed her.
Steve G family. You know what I mean?
Right? Prove to me that Kaylee followed her and it wasn't the brother.
Right. And it's many other things. Like, I mean, we don't know about previous relationship before the case or whatnot. Like, really we don't know nothing about Olivia. It's not because Olivia is mysterious and it's hard to get information about her. It's not about that. It's just that we just leave people alone. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
I
we
agree.
just yeah, we just leave people alone, and until we see that actually that's relevant to the reality of the killing. Like, you see, is for me, even though that would be a spicy hot topic to talk about, because it is, right? At this time of point, I'm more focused into
The
get to
courts. Yeah,
yeah, like,
I get it.
because I want justice for these people in the same way I know you want justice for them. And those topics is good to have them in the pocket, because at the end of the day, when everything comes out, we will bring that out. When
Right.
everything comes out, we will bring that out. And yeah, it's not in a malicious way, but we will question a lot of things from certain content creators and then the way they went about it after and about this case.
Yeah, and I don't want to throw you off. I'm like you. Let's do it little by little. But that did come up, and it's
No,
bothered me. It has
and I
bothered me.
and I appreciate you. Listen, if you have anything else in the pocket, don't feel shy to share. Just keep it coming. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
I
I'm
got you.
taking I'm taking my notes.
I got you.
Let's continue. Thank you, Rockshock. I appreciate you so much. Big shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. It's On Point True Crime with today's special guest, Rockshock True Crime from the Rockshock Nation. We appreciate so much. Let's continue the topic. Everyone in the chat, make sure you have questions and you have any commentary you want to bring along to the topic. Feel free and make sure don't be shy. Talk to me in the chat.
And I think it's wrapped up in the same issue. I thought we were going to Frank's next.
I did not. I apologize.
No preference over here, Your Honor.
Well, do you want to argue suppression on IGG and then we can do the Franks? That's fine.
I would need 5 minutes to get my Frank's items ready.
Let's do argument on the suppression of the IGG related matters, and then we can then hear the Frank stuff. That's fine. If that's what you're prepared to argue.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, our position is that the court should suppress the IGG identification and everything that flows from that. This is supported by Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution, Due process, Article 1, Section 17 of the Idaho Constitution. Your Honor, there was no warrant for several phases of the search that led to the IGG work, investigative genetic genealogy. And we think every single one of those stages, a warrant was required. None was given, and so this must be suppressed.
I want people to understand that Ann Taylor is telling you only what she tells you, what the cameras, while the cameras are live. It's a gag order in this case. That all details are buried. I want everyone to understand that she only giving you what she could give you, how she could give it to you, while the cameras are turned on. Is up to the people that is watching that do not know the details to read between the lines. For her to bring that particular argument, and this is the thing that went upside the head of Speak Van Holding, because we did talk about this in the earlier live stream. What it went upside the head is because they say that it's not, those warrants are not relevant because the DNA was found in the crime scene and it's part of an investigation to get to a name. But it's the opposite. At the moment they started the IGG work on Bryan Kohberger, they already had a name which is confirmed by court paperwork. So then now for you to do anything with that name against that name, you need a warrant for every single stage of the investigation to get to the proof, to get
Everything
to the
requires a
evidence,
warrant.
because they making it look like, right? And I'm sorry to interrupt you, Rockshot. They making it look like they didn't have a name before they started the IGG. So that means that by the time they request the materials from the laboratory in Texas, they had a name. And that's why they requested the materials in Texas, because they had a name to that the FBI could work on. So when in paperwork in court, we all this testimony on everything, especially the cell phone data that Ray exposed, it clearly shows that before they even started any type of IGG, they already had a name. They had a name before the investigation. So he proof and show that they focus on a name. They focus on Bryan Kohberger just because they pick and choose a name that it was convenient and easy access for them to do and say whatever they say and get this man. And then this is what I'm saying, that the whole theory, which is not confirmed yet, of about the night shift not really having no DNA by the time of, and in seriously terms, like it's really, I call it theory to be nice and polite, but it's really not a theory because Texas laboratory said that they don't have enough DNA to work on. So when that occurs, then now the FBI get it at the same time that they already have a name. And that's dangerous, because then everything that you're going to do with that name, for that name, with this IGG work, you need a warrant. Right, Chuck, if you have any take on that.
Yeah, they do have to have a warrant for every little bitty piece that they get.
Because they already have a name. It's not that they doing this magical IGG stuff to then tell Moscow PD, okay, we did this IGG work. This is the name that we have. They didn't do that. They already had a name and then work on that. And if you ask me though, due to it was no DNA, if you ask me, they lied to the court, to the magistrate, for them to get these warrants and go and get these men in Pennsylvania to then fish for DNA fishing.
So while you're saying that, I got a question. Do you think Bryan was the first name they gave, or do you think Brent Kopaka might have been the first name that they were investigating, but they
No,
might be.
the Brett Kopaka situation fell when they had it, because again, and actually it's a very serious point, hot take that I got on that, because it has to be some kind of knowledge for the cops to kill him. Like knowledge, when I mean knowledge, it's like, okay, we try to get this guy, he's not cooperating, and they running out of patience.
I just feel like there's been a couple of screw ups with Judge, and this judge where they've accidentally said Kopaka's name.
That's my point. Like for the name Kopaka come in this case, it somewhere, if it has to be some kind of record from Moscow PD mentioning Kopaka as a suspect in this case. Because remember, they say kidnap, four uh four roommates the Kopaka was holding as hostage.
Right.
That's what they said. They put the number 4. That automatically match with the Idaho 4. And then the fast response of Moscow PD for it, when Pullman has not just enough members on the police force, but also has enough members on the SWAT team. And for the only thing, listen, this is one man and one man only barricaded inside of a house. There's no reason to have a task force for that. So when I believe that somehow, I mean, because he could see out the window,
You're talking
he
about
see,
of the apartment,
yeah, when
311
Kopaka
apartment?
when Kopaka look outside and see Moscow PD outside, and they making him look like as is speak as a violent, dangerous person with roommates that is none, with roommates holds hostage inside of an apartment. So make the appearance and the picture of looking like, okay, this is about to happen again.
You know, Don Daniels. I don't know if you had seen this, but Don, again, Lana, I'm glad you like her because I watch her. Lana was just saying, I think night before last in our members only, that Don Daniels, she had the paperwork where Don Daniels requested after Kabaka was dead for them to let her know what vehicle he drove. Did you ever find out what vehicle he drove? She was requesting that in an email, and Lana got it.
Very, very
She
interesting
wants to know
though.
what Brent Kapaka was dying. He was already dead, but she wanted to know what he drove.
That was very interesting though. Because again, like the what is being shared out there everywhere around the net is far as because again, I like to talk about the public information. Um is that he owned a white Elantra also far as Brett Kopaka, but I don't know about anyone else within that what they drove.
It
But
was weird. It was weird, but that was an email that she sent over to Moscow asking, did we ever find out what Kapaka was driving? Because I need to know his car immediately. I was like, what? Wow. Okay.
but
But
you
you got
see
to
that the motor vehicle is, I think, if you ask me, motor vehicle information is publicly available. You just gotta pay for it. You know what I mean? You just gotta because if he have a vehicle, whatever vehicle we have, you just gotta run his name and the motor vehicle site, and in Pennsylvania and in Pullman. Because
Yeah,
if
and,
he had
and
if he
he,
had a
he's
car, it
older.
was either license plate from Pennsylvania or Pullman.
And he was older, so he wouldn't have had it like in his parents. He was what, 38? He would have had it in his name, not his parents.
Right, coming from a military background, they financially willing and able to take care of themselves. You know what I mean?
Amen. Yes.
Yeah. So big shout out to the military. Rest in peace, Brett Kopaka. And yes, if you ask me, yes, I believe the Kopaka was suspect number one in the eyes of but far as like suspect number one looking for a fall guy. Because if you ask me, they already knew who did this. In my personal opinion, they
I
had
think he
to.
did too.
They had to. Because it's in the only way that they're gonna ignore the obvious suspects. even though if the obvious suspects lawyer up, it's a common sense that it's probable cause for them to get investigated, and that did not occur.
Yeah,
They
they killed
waited.
two people too early.
Yes, yes, and they waited and waited, sitting eating donuts while they were waiting for results of the Kopaka situation, and that didn't work, and they covered that shit and try to frame this guy, and then they went to Bryan Kohberger because it was the obvious option after Brett Kopaka. It was the obvious. They both became they allegedly drove the same type of vehicles allegedly, and they both from Washington. Like they studying, they allegedly some people was talking about the Kopaka was doing some IT work for the University of Idaho, and that's the you see that's what he made him like an obvious suspect.
Not only that, Jrod, I mean, you have four unalived victims. You don't have anybody in custody, and they encourage people to leave the campus. You
Right.
keep them there. You don't let them leave.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it don't matter if they say I'm going on vacation, I'm with my parents, I being out here. Like it don't matter what you say, especially this alibi from Jack Decor that he only have a fraternity friend as his alibi. That he's the one vowing for whatever Jack Decor did and whatnot. That's not even that you have to back that up. It has to be a because if you're asking Jack Decor for his alibi, obviously you're looking at him as a possible suspect.
And why didn't he answer the phone?
If you ask Dylan Mortensen where you was when this happened, and she tells you I was on the first floor sleeping in, not hearing, not seeing nothing, sleeping with Bethany in Bethany's room. And then weeks later, after you get clear, after you get clear, because you got clear, and right after this narrative of being on the second floor in her room, hearing and seeing things, bushy eyebrows, clad, and all this other stuff, that came right after she got clear.
Yeah, but we
That
got the phone records now. Have they been quizzing them again now that we got the phone records?
right, right. Yeah, they had no, and this is the other thing that it came out. The AT&T records, I think it was from Maddie and Maddie. Hold on, Sana, no, Sana had yes, Sana
I'm
and
just
Maddie.
talking about
Sana,
Bethany
Sana,
and
Sana, Sana and Maddie's records has not come out yet.
I'm talking about Bethany and Dylan's. They've
No,
been
they out.
right all the
Yeah,
way with their
yeah, they
records.
out. Something had to be there though. Something had to be there. Like I say, either to make them look like they knew already about it. So I guess this is why Dylan send that text saying that she's in trouble or whatnot. That it sounded like she was saying like, "Yo, I'm fucked."
She did say that.
You know what I'm saying? So when she said that, it either show participation of her within the crime somehow,
I
in my
agree.
opinion.
I agree with that.
Oh my God, this is getting good again, intense. Thank you for Rock Shock True Crime for being here today. Let's continue.
Your Honor, I'd like to identify the three stages, and they are when Moscow, Idaho State Police Forensics Lab through Moscow Police Department moved a DNA sample to Othram Laboratories to develop a profile to run through genetic genealogy investigations. There was no warrant for that search for a SNP profile that could be used to attempt to identify somebody. The next stage would be when that was transferred to the FBI for their forensic investigative genetic genealogy work to try to identify somebody.
This is when she tells you that they have his name by the time they started the work.
Yep.
So for that, you need a warrant because you already have a name, and it's proven with the cell phone records and the request that they did on the cell phone records that they have his name way before they even started the IGG work. And it's worse, and it's worse because after the IGG work that it takes time is when they requested the warrant for a fugitive of the law warrant arrest for Bryan Kohberger, and have a task force go and pick him up over there in Pennsylvania. That's serious
Yes, it is.
because it's made out of a lie. It's like it don't matter whatever how you got Bryan Kohberger's DNA in Pennsylvania from the top of the warrant, from the top of the beginning of starting the IGG. They already had a name. So now you need warrants and proper procedures to then get to do whatever you say. Because when we know that at the time of all this happening, Bryan Kohberger legally and by law, he has not broke not one law in Idaho.
I agree.
So how can you be a fugitive of the law when you have not broken no law? With the IGG work and the cell phone data, they back up because remember they said that they don't use the IGG work to go and arrest these men. So guess what's the next step to get the warrant for the arrest? The cell phone data, because they didn't have nothing else. All these other pictures of the white Elantra, all these other, that was the cream on top. Because in the only way they couldn't get anything going outside of the IGG, the FBI said it very clear. Do not use this to arrest these men. You need something else. Guess what? They already had something else. Because in the only way that they, by law, could have Bryan Kohberger cell phone cache data, it was after arrest. After arrest.
Right. And the way I see it, now I might have missed this, but they never talked to Kohberger, right?
Well, allegedly, Moscow
But
PD had a conversation with him. They say a interview with Bryan Kohberger in Moscow headquarters, but then is no footage, no proof, no sound, no
yeah,
nothing
and
of
they
it.
video every one of them. When you're interrogated, they video that.
Right. There's no reason to hide that.
No. I also think they had a tracker on his car. They put a tracker on his car to go from Idaho to Pennsylvania. I don't think it was this convenient that the Idaho or the Indiana police pulled him over twice. I think they had a tracker on that car.
But you know what? That they're not gonna say that by law
No,
because
because it's
then
illegal.
it's gonna hurt the case.
It's illegal, but who gets pulled over twice for tailgating? No. No.
And from two different departments, right? Because
But
one it was the
they both
sheriff,
were
one it was
Indiana State Police.
they both was the Indiana State Police.
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I
Okay.
believe they both were.
Because you see, you see, if he was like that, well, either way, it wouldn't make sense if he was the sheriff or the state trooper because they all connected and they all work for the same people. So you know you're always gonna have a sheriff that don't have nothing to do, borrowing himself to do something like this. You know, like just pull up someone just to check up or whatnot for whatever interest
Yeah, I
of
never watched
like
one.
civilians. You know.
Yeah, I watched both of them pullovers, and I'm going to say I'm pretty positive they both were state police. And I'm going to
Hey,
say Indiana because they wasn't very, 30 minutes apart? It wasn't very far apart either.
and that
Have
you're
you
gonna
ever
be
get pulled over for following too close? Because I never have. And
no,
I'm
not like
on
that.
people's asses.
But both time he was pulled for the same reason.
Yeah, for tailgating, following
That's
too close.
that's telling because you know if you get pulled over once for it, you're not gonna do it again. And
I mean, yeah.
for the credits in school that he have in the little conversation we heard him talking to the officer that day, like like he seems like down to common sense. And like, I just got pulled over. Hold on, let me chill out. And you know what? Even worse, if he knew that it was no reason for him to get pulled over, and he knew that that was an excuse of the cop to pull him over.
Yeah, I see in chat, Janelle says he may have called PD to clear himself. I don't think so. I don't think
And,
Bryan Kohberger called the police to clear himself.
and you know what's crazy that he mentioned what, not just the Brecopaka, that he mentioned the Brecopaka to the officer, something like that.
Well, yeah, they said, well, yeah, there was a shooting back on campus this morning. They did mention that, but everybody got the alert. Like when the unalivings happened, everybody got the alert to stay in place and don't leave. Well, when that SWAT thing was going down, everybody got the alert, and Bryan working at Pullman, he got that alert. I think it was just something. I'll be honest with you, if I got pulled over for tailgating, well, I come from a family of cops, so it wouldn't have scared me. But like my husband Rick, if he got pulled over, he'd be really nervous, and he'd probably talk about something that he got from that too. Does that make sense? Something to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah, to sound friendly and keep the mood, the chill mood, and when we're talking about not try to look suspicious.
Right. And listen, if you're not somebody that's used to getting pulled over, you're going to be nervous when you get pulled over, and you're going to try to have friendly conversation.
And I tell you what, it was some people that he was saying about that particular situation that he was interrupting his dad, like in a way to kind of like tell him to shut up, dad, let me talk. And it was people like calling that out, but I didn't see it like that.
I didn't see it like that either. They also said his hand was all messed up. I
Yeah,
didn't see that either. And he
yeah,
went
I
to
didn't.
the doctor on that Monday. The doctor didn't say his hand was all messed up.
We pause it. We look at the footage, and the hand that they were saying that he was messed up. Actually, Speak Bang Holding had that narrative going, and while I was live with him, he remembered this, and we always joke about it, cause he's not down with that narrative no longer after I prove him right. I proved myself right. But we was looking at the footage, and when Bryan Kohberger pull out the same hand, it was no injuries on the hand.
Yeah, I didn't see any injuries. He went to the doctor on that Monday after that happened on Saturday to a scheduled appointment. The doctor didn't write anything in his health record that his hand was all messed up.
Right,
And
right,
the
right.
doctor would have noticed it.
And you know what? It's like you said that it would be very telling, and it would be illegal for them to even do that. You know what I mean? And it will show that they already had a name.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, I was going to bring this up while you're talking about this because I know there's other creators out there too. I didn't see any fires on that Banfield, and there's one creator that's saying that they had fires, and you can see it. All I see is lights that are kind of foggy. I don't see any fires either.
Right, right,
So
right.
you just got to know. I'm not going to say anybody's right or wrong. You have the right to your opinions, just like chat here has the right to their opinions. But sometimes just because you think a creator's right somewhere else, that don't always mean they're right. I'm just going to say that. You got to use your own judgment.
Yeah, that's when the homework comes all along, though. That's when people, like, you see, it's all about caring about a case. It's like you say, it's caring, because if you care, you're gonna take time and look into it and stuff like that. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and I like that creator. She stays up late. It was bubbly. I'm going to be honest. I like her. I think she's a nice lady. But she's saying there's fires, and I went back and pulled the Law&Crime video and said, I can't see any fires. But she blew hers up so big that they were so blurry, and the light, it's an orange light, and it does look like a fire. So I went back to the original one that wasn't blown up. I didn't see any fires.
Yeah, it's a lot of information that she had put out that I'm not a very fan of it, and that's why I don't follow.
Right. But I'm up late. You know what I mean? I have horrible
Yeah.
insomnia. So I'll look at it when she's coming on there. But there's some things that she did make sense. But some of it I have to say, sorry, I don't see that. I'm glad you do, but I'm sorry, I don't.
Amy Conway said that she heard that Brett Kopaka had the license suspended and he couldn't drive.
I'd heard that too, but I didn't look into it myself. But they also said that the reason Bryan would be in the area is because he was giving Brett Kopaka a ride. Now, just because they're both from Pennsylvania, don't mean they knew each other.
Right, right. That's a very serious thing that I appreciate that you said that, cause yeah, just because they were like from Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a very large state. You know what I mean? And um, it's very rare when you actually is the coincidence that you go out of state to study somewhere and you actually know each other. You know what I mean? Unless you came out of the same high school and whatnot, that's very rare to happen.
Yeah. Or they was friends in high school and went there, and they obviously wasn't, because Brent was a lot older. But
Right.
that's like, well, say I decided to go to Washington. We had a KU alumni that was playing basketball for Pullman last year. Just because we're from the same area, are you going to say we knew each other? No.
Right.
You know,
And then go ahead.
Pennsylvania's a big state. Washington's a big state. I bet you got a lot of Pennsylvanians over in Washington. Like, or do they all know each other? I doubt it. I doubt it.
Right. And I totally agree with that statement, though. Amy Conway said her Elantra and a truck. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That you sometimes could have a license suspended and whatnot, because like you could go and get into troubles and stuff like that, or tickets or unpaid tickets and whatnot, and you get your license suspended. But it's always a chance that you already had a vehicle in possession and owned by you. You know what I mean?
There's
So
always a chance. So listen, I watched Live PD, and none of them people have a license, and they're driving. So that don't mean
right.
he wasn't driving just because he didn't have a license.
No, right. You see those body cameras when they say, "No, I don't have a license."
Yeah.
Is the car in your name? No, the car is not under my name.
But a lot of them say, yeah, the car's in my name. I just don't have a license. It's suspended.
Right. By the way, big
Right.
shout out to Cindy Abbott. Big shout out to Cindy Abbott. Thank you so much for being here. Very appreciated. Today we're talking with Rock Shock True Crime. We have the honor of having here with us talking about the Idaho 4 Bryan Kohberger case. Welcome to the chat. Go ahead, Rock Shock.
Oh no, I'm listening.
Okay, so you know what though? I think we agree in the how weird the trace to Pennsylvania could look like if that was indeed what was going on. It would be very, very fishy. I totally agree with that, and I appreciate you for that, taking all the other takes that you have given us. Let's continue with the footage.
No warrant was in place for that work either. Finally, there was a trash pull in Pennsylvania, and there was no warrant for that trash pull either. All three of those stages of this case, there should have been a warrant and there wasn't, and this must be suppressed. Your Honor, for the purposes of the Fourth Amendment protections and Article 1, Section 17 of the Idaho Constitution, we are looking to see if somebody has a privacy interest that society is ready to support. In this case, if society is not ready to support suppression of every bit of our DNA when the government does not have a warrant and searches it, there is no privacy right left.
You have any case?
Before the judge come up with his argument, to Ann Taylor's arguments, is two very important things that are going on here. Okay, so at this time and moment that they are doing the whole trash pull, they do not, if you ask me, they're not breaking the law. They breaking rules, local rules and regulations of Pennsylvania, but it's rules and regulations that are not law.
It's
It's
a
not,
law here.
is no case law that, but you see that now we got to look into case law, because then if he's make a law, right, that is a law, um I feel that if that law at some point has not been used yet, is no case law in court register using upon that law. That makes sense?
It does make sense, but I heard a little bit of this conversation the other night when you were on panel with your friend, and this is how it works here. They couldn't come up. Even my trash guy can't come on my property and get my trash can, nor could law enforcement come and go through my trash can. But the minute I put it out at the street, they can do whatever they want with it.
But ain't a city ordinance enforced as law?
They do enforce it. Yeah, I mean, you're in a criminal trial here. Yeah.
Right, because Yeah, it's not law that is being signed by the Senate, but it says city ordinance that no other no other territory within the United States of America territory or states
Oh,
should
it's
be
in the
allowed to
statute.
violate. You know, like they shouldn't be able to violate. It's like you're invading our state to do something that is illegal here for us. Like it's no law, but we don't allow this.
No, I think it's a state statute. Like, that's your property. They can't come on your property without a warrant. That trash can you pay for, that's your property. They can't just go through it without a warrant.
I mean, because if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, please, anyone on the chat or anyone in the comments, please cook me if you
I'm
have
not
to.
always right either. I'm not always right either. So,
But when the city ordinance ensures the privacy of the trash pool, I believe that that includes law enforcement. Because for you having the name first and you being in Pennsylvania because you already had the name first way before IGG and you there in Pennsylvania for IGG purposes because you need DNA is all you got. We an excuse to be there because it's nothing legal about this. You
I don't
have an
think they got the trash
excuse.
legally. I really don't. I think
Right.
it's illegal the way they got the trash. But that's
What
my
that
opinion.
that's what I mean. In my opinion, I totally agree with you that it was illegal because if it's a city ordinance that protects you from cops
Oh, it's a
and
statute.
private people from doing what you call it, that's trash picking out of you or picking up your trash or what now you stuff that you put out there, right? I
Yeah,
believe that that protects you from private interests like regular people, regular Jays and Joes coming and pick on your trash, and also law enforcement.
that would be in any state, any law. It'd be a statute. Like, you have to have a warrant to get into people's private private property. The trash can's private until it hits the street. If they went up and took it out of the trash, say at 3 o'clock in the morning, and took that trash and got it, that's one thing. That's against the law. If they waited till that trash can was pushed out to the street, it's fair game. They don't
And
have to have a warrant when it's out at the street off your property.
right. And you see, it wouldn't be it wouldn't
I'm
be
not trying to
weird.
confuse you.
It
Sorry, I'm agreeing with you.
it wouldn't be no, I'm totally agreeing with you also. 100% no doubt. It's gonna be weird, right? Because the part that is gonna be weird is the public accepting the reality that this is why the officers asked the trash company to pick up that one particular trash, and they couldn't mix that trash with the rest of the trash within the truck.
Hmm. And
Is the part that people don't see that you had to have a single pickup. It is not like, let's put it like this, right? It's not like the trash company pick it up because you know they got trucks that they dump the trash in the truck. It's not like that trash gets separated. They lift the container and they dump it with the hand with the electrical robotic arm of the truck into the trash, mixing it with other trash.
yeah, but
Go
I
ahead.
don't I don't think we know if they went on the property to get it or if it's out at the street. If it was out of at the street, the way I understood it, they were across the street where a convenient person lived and went out there and got the trash before it got picked up.
No, because if you realize it was they seen right the story that they pull out is like they seen Bryan Kohberger putting trash in the neighbor's trash can,
Yeah, I do
which
remember
it
seeing that.
which it makes it way worse. Which it makes it way worse
My
because
neighbors
then
throw stuff in my trash can all the time because theirs gets too full.
right, and I have done that too sometimes because I'm cool with my neighbors and they have
Me
actually
too.
advised me that.
Yeah, our trash can's full. Can we throw this in there? Yeah. If yours is full, you can throw it in mine. Like, That's a neighborly thing to do. It's not no big deal.
Right, and it's regular. But if you ask me, right, it'll make it way worse because then now you fishing, you telling this trash company to get someone else's trash that don't have to do nothing with the investigation that you got going on. Okay, um, and you getting that trash right out of the premises outside the gates because you know in the back of your head what you're doing is totally illegal because you already have a name. What you're doing, it could have passed the eye of the law if you didn't have no name and every single tactic that you're doing is to get to a killer. It because you need to confirm that this is the killer. This is the killer's DNA that you have in the sheath. So if you don't have a name, everything that you do is absolutely as long as you're not breaking no law as we have it right now. Because this is how we have it right now in court. Just because they say that they not have a Bryan Kohberger name yet and not a confirmation until they swap his DNA. They now we have the killer. What they don't tell you is that if you have a name and you doing all this stuff, because the name way before the IGG is a warrant and due process on every single step
Not
taken
only
by the
that,
law.
think about this, Jrod. Okay, so he's a teacher assistant. He had his own office. He did not wear gloves in his office. They could have got his fingerprint anywhere in that office or any papers he touched grading.
Apartment when the
Yeah.
warrant
So why
when the
would they
warrants.
even have to mess with the damn trash?
Do you remember that it was said that they were watching him at some point while he was in the car wash and stuff?
Yeah, they were watching him at Albertsons too wear gloves. Well, think about it. It was during COVID. I have one child out of seven, one that is a germophobic. And let me tell you, she went to the grocery store and she wore gloves. And she's not a killer. She's a germophobic.
And you know what though? Because okay, when they say that part of the car wash, right? It's a simple car wash that it doesn't have the proper chemicals to get rid of DNA. If that was the case, you feel me?
I do.
It's like is you could vacuum the car, you could do everything that we know that we do in a simple car wash. Big shout out to all those car wash owners. Um, right, you gotta give me a shout out. Um, yeah. It's
Travis
like
Kelsey
it's
on
like
Dark
you
Awards.
they could have get trash out of the trash can wherever because if he was pulling trash out of his car, he's dumping it in the trash can right there next to the vacuum.
But look,
So
he had a
you know what
month
I mean?
before he left. I'm saying that they could have got it from his office. Any papers he graded, he had his hands on it. Like I said, it's different when you're going grocery shopping and you're touching things that it was COVID. But I
Right.
guarantee you, he didn't wear gloves in his house, and he didn't wear gloves in the in his office. And the students would have said, "Yeah, this teacher was weird because he was even wearing gloves in class." We didn't hear that.
Right.
They could have got
Right.
his DNA from any one of them other places. Why did they have to do it that way?
And that could have absolutely happened because again not having DNA on the sheet from somewhere you need to make this happen. You know what I'm saying? Like
But
when
okay,
you see it's so cliche when the FBI not having allegedly not having no DNA on the sheath, right? Now they
right.
have the same DNA that apparently is not there amplified.
Well,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
going to say this. They would have had to have a warrant like they did to get into his apartment, but would they have had to have a warrant if the school was going to let him on their property to go in his office and do something like that? They probably already had it from his office,
Yes,
honestly.
that's exactly. I totally agree with you. Like the whole Warren situation. This is why I believe me and you. I don't know if I'm speaking for yourself, but I believe I do. This is why I totally agree with Ann Taylor with what she said. Yeah, okay, because the judge is gonna ask her right now, like, can you name me a case law that it will support this argument? You know what I'm saying? So it's like she said it very clear, like she cannot speak more than what she's saying, because then now she's going into details of the case, and then now, okay, I'm looking back in front of the judge either way if I'm combating the judge on his argument. So if you ask me, the judge know that she cannot speak about certain things, and he's kind of pushing the balance towards the prosecution, arguing to Ann Taylor for the prosecution that we about to see right now, though. But Rockchuck, I totally agree with everything you just have said.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, no, go ahead. This is your
Okay.
show.
No, it's your show, but I know you got a lot of comments to go to, but I want to address my Rastapa. They're not using IGG, so it doesn't matter. It does matter because the judge is right now bringing up IGG. That's why Jrod's going over this. He's the one, the judge is talking about IGG right now.
No, and I totally agree with my Rastafari
Right.
when he
But he
said
is
that
talking about it right now.
the prosecution allege that they're not gonna use the IgG process against Bryan Kohberger because they already have a DNA swab. The problem and the hurdle that they have is that now having a Bryan Kohberger name before you do a IgG work, you need not just warrants, but then now a certain process that they have to go by to obey by the law and get to a DNA swab that did not, they allegedly that for the court paperwork, it seems that that did not occur. But
They
yes,
could have
you
broke the law. They could have broke the law. That's the whole point of all this.
right, and
Even
I
if
and
they're
I
not
agree.
using it.
Agree, the prosecution said that they were not about to use it, but in reality, they have to. Cause
Accountability. They have to have
yeah,
accountability.
because here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that is very important. Whatever you have against Bryan Kohberger to cook him, that means everything and anything, it must come out. Everything that it was done with the IgG work and how they got it done. And then here's the thing that they have to explain how they did that IgG work without a name of Bryan Kohberger. Because they already had the name. So whatever IgG work, they went direct to possible names. They will put them in the algorithm.
Yeah, but they did a CODIS search and he wasn't in CODIS. He was not in CODIS. So
Right, right. Which I agree with you. And it seems that like the other DNAs were not encoded as neither. And but
that's
they knew
right.
it was that they knew they were males.
And they didn't even try to find out who they were.
That's the thing. They could have done the same alleged IgG technique on them and and see if they were possible suspects. An investigation
I'd
of
have been
that.
swabbing everybody in town, but they let
Right,
them leave. They let them all
right.
leave.
And that did not occur though. That's the most crazy thing about it, that did not occur.
Yeah, and
They
that's
it's
another grounds for appeal. So
what they say, inconclusive, right?
inconclusive, but again, when you have something like this happen, you keep everybody there and you treat everybody the same. Hey, come in, do a DNA swab. Hey, let's do a DNA swab before anybody leaves. They didn't do that.
And if you ask me, the cops had probable cause to do those DNA swaps to Jack Decor and every single name involved in this case, even Dylan Morrison, Bethany, just in case, and all these other people. And the probable cause is there. What's the probable cause for you to get my DNA? Well, cause guess what? It seems that you was inside of the house. That simple. You know what I mean? It is especially those people they was allegedly inside the house way before the 911 call. They needed to get swapped just to then get to see if they're suspects. It's the steps of everything though. And here's the problem that I have with the whole investigation. It seems there is no proof that a proper investigation occurred way before the let's say Brett Kopak and Bryan Kohberger came all along. It was all slappy. It was all like you know, when people get desperate, you know what I mean? I think that the college students not wanting to come back, and I think they knew that they did not want to come back after vacations because this whole deal. I think that it was a pressure put on Moscow PD and let's say FBI to do something drastic and get to do something now. We need a warm body now that we could just put in court for him to rot and gamble his life on a jury. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not saying. I think the cops definitely knew what they was doing. I don't think they were incompetent at doing things. I think they knew they had their own plan all the way along.
And adding
That's
to
my
that
opinion.
though, adding to that though, not
It's
having
the
an
game plan.
investigation and going by face value, because if you realize all the alibis of the youngins, Dylan's alibis, all the alibis of everybody else is
Yeah,
is
but do we
is
even
literally
know
face.
their alibis?
That's what I'm saying. It's all face value.
Oh, so
It's
we're
face.
supposed to believe the police. Oh, so everybody can leave because they had a good alibi. If you remember, Steve G says, well, she had a good alibi. Who's she?
Mm-hmm.
Who's
Mm-hmm.
she? Who's she that had a good alibi? Was
Mm-hmm.
that
Dylan.
Bethany at the hotel that had a good alibi? I don't know.
I think it's Dylan though. I think it's Dylan though that he was talking about. If you
But we
ask
don't
me
have a
though.
timeline for Dylan or Bethany.
I mean, the cell phone data will give some kind of timeline of conversations, but if you ask me, they have to have some kind of triangulation on those cell phones. Because if you ask me, right away you're gonna see people as suspects, right? And you need to know where these people was. It don't matter what they telling you. So you have to do your homework to get the cell phone data to at least closely pinpoint where everybody was when these text messages was occurring.
But think about it, J Rod. I think that Moscow thought that they would be able to do what they were planning on doing, and it would be a done deal. And they had no plans of this going worldwide, and all these sluices, including us, digging in, making them do more work. Why did they keep having to go back to the house? Because the nation took this and said, something's wrong. It wasn't your usual Mount Moscow, let's sweep it under the rug. It was a hazing, they died, whatever. They weren't able to do that because we all latched onto this and said, whoa, no, something's wrong. See what I'm saying? So they had to
Right.
backtrack. They had to keep going back in the house. They had to do different things. Like, when did they catch the blood on the rail? They didn't catch it the first time. When did they catch it?
Well, at least they didn't brought it out at that time.
Yeah, I don't think they caught it at that time because I think they went back several times. Like I said, I think they thought this was going to be a closed deal, and Moscow was proven wrong because the world stepped up and said,
You know what's crazy? Won't there keep that one cop that they had that is on the Brady case or on the Brady list? Like won't they recognizing that he's on the Brady? They wouldn't keep the safe haven of the case, keeping him away from any doing in this case though.
man, I'm I'm
Because
I'm
he's
not
really
saying
not. It's not like they really need him. Because okay, you utilizing the Brett Payne that he's a rookie. And so why this guy that is an older guy, and yeah, he has like a rank and stuff, but you really don't need that this one particular guy there because
okay.
he's really not relevant.
So I see in the chat. Well, they had his DNA. That's their evidence. They had the DNA. They could do whatever. Okay? So that sheath was underneath Maddie. And you're going to tell me with all this blood that the only thing the sheath had on it was the little trace of DNA on the snap. There wasn't other DNA there. Like, makes no sense. Why would it just be on the snap if it's laying underneath Maddie?
And it's not just that though, but again, recognizing that it was other DNA in the same locality consistent to the killing. Because again, those DNA samples, if it's you could tell if these samples are older, not consistent with the murder scene. for these samples to be there and be mentioned in this case, this is not DNA that it was previously left there, because it's really no reason to talk about it, because at the end of the day in court it's gonna come out. So I think that again the defense team would have mentioned it, and would have put it like in the light if that DNA, that other DNA of other male DNAs that it was found not just outside but inside of the residence and close to the murder scene, one of the murder scenes and whatnot.
But
Um,
think about it. They
you know what I mean?
buried that DNA, the other DNA they found in the house. They buried it in paperwork and gave it all to Ann and said, "Here, go through this." They didn't think they'd catch it. It wasn't like the prosecutor said, "Well," Bill Thompson gets up there and says, "Well, we have two other DNAs." No, it took the defense to bring it up. Prosecution knew they had it and buried it in there. Defense had to dig it out and bring it up.
And you know what though? That makes it look so much worse, if you
Yes,
ask me.
yes.
Like,
They
you
could have
know what I
said,
mean?
"Hey, we had other DNA, but we ruled them out." They didn't even check it.
But here's the problem with that though, because then now they have to prove how you rule them out. Like now they gotta show what the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, why did they say that? Because they didn't pinpoint it to any particular people.
You know other thing that I believe that is buried within the documents and the seal affidavits and stuff. I believe this is just me spitballing a little bit, and I love having you here in this show because I love in the way we work. Um, I believe that they have knowledge far as because it's hard for me to accept that the cops did not have the curiosity of not know who DNA was that. If you ask me,
It would have
is
messed up their narrative. That's
is
why.
is human nature,
Yeah, but no, they had somebody they already wanted to pin it on. It would have messed it up.
right?
Listen, if they went and found out who was the other two traces of DNA, we'd have a whole different outcome going on right now, even.
Because then now, let's say for example, if indeed are people that are known that it was like public suspects, like let's say in the social media and other people like myself that have point out their suspects, right? um yeah, I agree with you. That would have messed the whole narrative. Like, because
Yeah.
then now they have to put together the connection between those boys or girls with Bryan Kohberger.
Not only that, if you remember, Ann Taylor, as soon as she got hired, she took her team and went through that house. What if her team is the one that caught the DNA on the rail?
That would have been way worse.
But maybe they did catch it.
That would be so much worse because
But you
in
see what
trial
I
it's
mean?
gonna
Remember
look
when that
terrible.
happened? Remember immediately when she got assigned, she had her detective team and she was at that house.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that's very possible they caught that DNA too and
I mean,
waited to see if the
I mean,
state
I,
was going to turn
I,
it in.
I mean, think about it though. When she agreed, you feel me though. Like I'm gonna put it like this though. Um, for her to agree, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna force her hand to agree for the demolition of this house. In my personal opinion, I think that when Ann Taylor seen that no one had problem with that, and she had everything she needed out of that house, because remember she sent her own personal
The whole
private
team, yep,
investigators and
had
forensic
everybody.
team in there, like the same team for the state, the investigator first. That Ann Taylor had to send her own team in there before the house was destroyed.
Well, she did it. She did it immediately too when she took the case.
Right,
I remember her showing up at 11:22 with a whole group of people to go in and do stuff. So
right. And believe me, if we have a side Ray in this case, do you think that the people that she brought to the table in the very beginning of this case to make sure that this crime scene gets swept
they
for her?
didn't count on her having a Ray and
Right,
the pink haired lady. Or the
and you,
red-haired lady. What was her
yeah,
name? She
I
was way
think
expert.
Garcia or Vargas. I think it was Varga or Garcia.
Vargas, yeah.
Yes, Vargas.
And she
Um,
was good. And you see how they got rid of her real quick. But she said, they're doing this all wrong.
but I think, but the good thing that we have the footage. We don't need her no
Absolutely.
more. We don't need her no more. We have the footage, and it's on
We
court
have her
record. You know
testimony.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
we have her
And
testimony.
and if you want to see it like this though, prosecution interfere with a witness and intimidated a witness, sending the FBI to the door of her house after
That was crazy.
testimony.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then Bill Thompson, when he was talking about it, he was like, "Oh, but I had to send the FBI because some information that she brought up to the table." Yeah, she brought up the information on how DNA could be manipulated, and not just manipulated, but created
Yep,
and match it to anyone. What you talking about? Like these formulas and shit for this shit. Like, what you mean? This is smart people.
that's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? Then you're gonna intimidate that lady to get her off the case, and she be like, "Nah, fuck that, leave me alone." You know what I mean? And at this day today, if you ask me, she could still come up though. I don't see why she wouldn't be still in that list if necessary.
I
You know what
think
I'm
if
saying?
you want to know my personal opinion, I think it pissed them off when Lana started hanging out with her. She went and
Y-
Lana went and hung out with her, and they went and ate lunch and they went a lot of places together. And the next thing you know, they're saying they can't use her no more. I don't know why that would have made a difference, but
But what happened? Okay, here's what happened. Again, I don't know nothing, but uh, word on the street word on the street, I get take this with a grain of salt. And again, if Lana had not heard this, she hear it here first in Jrod on point true crime. Um, due to that is a gag order, right? And this young lady testified, right, in a gag order case, right? Due to the it was already reports and like let's say it was complaints on record against Lana with Moscow PD, and it breaks in the looks of the gag order of a, let's say, a defense witness being with one of the biggest true
she
crime
was a
content
professional
creators
witness at
in
that.
YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the information that is being shared between both is unknown. Only Lana had recordings of it. You know what I'm saying? And again, it is all he say, she say. But at the same time, it give a bad look to Vargas, and that in particularly it did interfere with the Idaho for Bryan Kohberger case.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I love Lana, and I liked watching her and Vargas. Vargas was driving her and all that. I watched all that. I watched them go eat. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, why is this professional in this case meeting with a YouTuber? And I love Lana, so it's not a ditch on Lana. But did Vargas use? Because she would also go on the lives. I always wondered, was Vargas using the correct judgment? I don't know. I don't know.
But you see, I believe that it was a lot of good intention with that though.
They hit it off. They were friends. You know, Lana reached out to her. Vargas should have said, I'm in the middle of this case. I can't talk. But they hit it off. They become friends. I get it. But was it
Listen,
professional? I don't know.
in my opinion, I believe that Vargas could still be called if needed, because even though that situation occurred, I don't see it as damaging. Because again, uh, even though if Vargas and Lana share like extracurricular information, right?
I don't
Um,
believe they talked about this case at all. They might have
and
talked about IGG and that's it.
and you know what? Even though if that conversation occurred, but it's no proof of it, right? just because the closeness of the looks of it, Lana would be called as at some point and talked to. You know what I mean?
I don't think they'll use Vargas again. Like I think that was
They'll like to know what Lana know. You feel me? Like if that was serious like that, which I don't think it is, they would have made they would have escalated the issue and actually reach out to Lana. Due to that, Lana has not spoke nothing like that. I don't think that happened, and that's why I don't see that it was like a major deal within this case. But the looks and the graphics of it is that did affect the case in certain level.
yeah. Well, think about it. If they wouldn't have got that, what they say as their excuse, the touch DNA off the button, we wouldn't even be where we're at right now. But now, so they're not going to use the IGG and they're not going to use all that. Then why is this case even open? I'm so confused about that part.
Because they wanna focus on the DNA match. Even the judge said it. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you argue? Which he about to say it right now though. How can you argue against a DNA match and stuff like that? Let's see it though.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cases that hold that.
I do not have any cases that hold
By the way, Rockshock, thank you so much for being here tonight.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
that, nor do I have any to the contrary that say that's not the case. Not ready to support suppression of every bit of our DNA when the government does not have a warrant and searches it. There is no privacy right left.
Do you have any cases that hold that?
I do not have any cases that hold that, nor do I have any to the contrary that say that's not the case.
Because this new, in a way, they got to Bryan Kohberger in the way they made it look like it's novel. Is no case law that backs the argument.
Because nobody's
And
ever did sneaky shit like this and do it without a
exactly.
warrant. Nobody's
Boom,
stupid enough to do that but Moscow.
boom, boom,
That's why there's
boom,
no case law.
bang.
Nobody's stupid enough to try something like this.
And you know what though?
But this
It
case,
hit
even if it gets charged, it will go to Court of Appeals and there will be a case law on it. Watch.
Rockchalk. It hit different when Rockchalk Nation is an on-point true crime.
I'm sorry.
No, you're doing
I
great.
just say what
Listen,
I
I
think.
appreciate you for being here. I think this is one of the best show that we had
I'm
in a long
honest
time.
on how I feel.
I appreciate you though.
Your Honor, this is a situation where this identification was done in complete secret behind closed doors, and it's been continued to be a secret. And that should raise red flags for Your Honor about privacy interests that are at stake. The court can see from the various affidavits in this case that there's a lot of things done that don't say how Mr. Kohberger was identified. And the reason for that is because nobody wanted to talk about what happened here with the genetic genealogy. That search was done by making a profile in Othram Lab. That search did not lead anywhere. The FBI took over the search, and from there they did things that we have no idea what it is. That entire segment of this case is secret. We have been through several motions to compel to try to get information, and we've gotten very, very little information. The court should know that we learned today about policies and procedures of Othram that we have not been able to take a look at. Those have not been produced. In fact, we've been told they don't exist.
And she said it does not exist.
That's right. And if it don't exist, why are we here?
The worst thing is, right, that having a name first, the work that the FBI did on the IGG, it was towards that reference towards the roots of DNA of Bryan Kohberger because they already had a name. Then now the FBI experts say, in my opinion, it's not that she said, indeed, it's confirmed that everything that we did is Bryan Kohberger, and this is why we give the name to Moscow PD to look into it.
But why is it hidden from the defense? Why is it not there?
And it's just an opinion too, and then that opinion is based on non-work because the non-work does not exist, or they don't want to give it up, because if they give it up, it's going to show that they went direct. Even all IGG work that they did, it was based on a name, not based on pure investigation.
Not only that, they have to be able to show everything they did to get there, and they're leaving all the FBI part out, which would be against the law. Can you just say hi to Joanne? She's here now. I love hearing you say it.
Big shout out, and it hit different when we tell ya Joanne is in the chat from Utah.
From Utah.
Joanne,
Thanks.
Joanne,
I love it when you say that.
Joanne, Joanne. Big shout out to Joanne. Thank you so much for being here. Very so much appreciated, though. You know we appreciate you here. It doesn't
Sorry, I didn't
matter
want
if
to
it
get
rains.
off.
It doesn't matter if it's raining or if it's sunny over here. We appreciate our Joanne here in the chat. Go ahead, Rachak.
Oh no, yesterday you were talking and you couldn't see StreamYard, and I said Joanne, and I put it real long, from Utah, because I love it when you say it.
I was stressing, and then I refreshed it. And I was like, "Oh, it's all here." Okay, my bad.
It's all good.
But big shout out to Joanne. Joanne, we're doing some good work with Rachak today. We talking about the Idaho full Bryan Kohberger case, and it seems like that we have malicious prosecution and a false arrest, but we still gonna leave the question mark there for effect and for legal purposes, you know. And tonight it seems that we having a checkmate between Rock Shock True Crime, Rock Shock Nation, sponsor and family of this channel, and On Point True Crime. We're having a great conversation about this case, and I think we get into some conclusions and a lot of information that a lot of people have not heard or have not dared to even listen to. I think me and Rock Shock, we have put a lot of topics out there that if you haven't catch up yet, you can always replay the live stream and you'll be able to catch up to it. And we appreciate you to be here tonight. Big shout out to Joanne from Utah.
Absolutely. Sometimes when you have different people, we've always had good rapport against each other, me and you. We don't always agree, but you always respect my opinion. I respect yours, but we're on the same page with this.
I mean, just think about it though. You're a person that have done your homework. I think you have listened to what we have talked about, not just for now, but since we've been talking about cases and stuff, and the way the train of thought that it goes behind the conversation. I think that that combined with your homework and me just dedicating to my craft, because it became a full-time content creation cyber sleuthing craft and career now, thanks not just to you but to everyone that has donated to the channel, and thanks to YouTube with the partnership and all the good things that has happened, not just with the membership but growing as a little channel and getting back to shape, getting back in good shape, not just thanks to you, but also thanks to everyone that actually appreciate the content. And at least if you don't like the content, just watch it. Hate watch for a minute. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying?
And I'm not just your average Joe. I have a law enforcement background. My grandfather was attorney general. My grandfather also was a sheriff, and then he was a criminal defense attorney for 40 years. I've sat in court with my grandpa a lot, so it's not stuff that I'm just pulling out of a hat saying.
You know what though? Something about you that you have a type of critical thinking that surprised me. And for me to say that takes a lot for me to get surprised with an angle that is actually juicy and it's worth to look into. And that has only happened with you. Like, yeah, a few times we speak Van Holden and whatnot, and
Your
we salute
channel's the only one I get up and speak on too, as
and we
far as the
salute
case.
and with Sluty Goose though. A big shout out to Sluty. But with you, right, is a good thing that you are so not just knowledgeable, but you have lived life and you put it all together in the same way that it makes sense. And we do appreciate that about you though.
Thank you.
So let's continue. You ready?
Yep.
And here we go. Big shout out to Joanne, Amy Conway, my Rastafari, everybody on the chat. Cindy, big shout out to Caitlin, everybody on the chat,
Don't forget to shout out
chat.
to Bianca. She's been in here. She's been watching you.
Oh, big shout out to Bianca. I think we haven't got to her comments yet though. Oh, but big shout out, big shout out. Listen, sorry that I'm late on the comments. My bad. I'm focused on the content though. I'm focused on the content. I'm doing my job though. I hope you can appreciate. But I listen. My bad. I'm running slow in the chat.
You'll catch up. You'll catch up.
I swear, I'm trying. I just want to make sure that I have it on screen, even though if I don't talk about it, but that at least it's on screen long enough for everyone to read it. It's like if I could read it, even though I'm not talking about it, y'all could read it too, right? So it's like, it's all good. It hit different. Let's continue.
We learned about investigative work that was done after Othram had done the work that they could do and before the FBI took over, that we learned about for the first time this week. Not through the motion to compel process. This was a giant secret. When we get to the FBI, we don't know who did the work. You heard that any of that information is redacted. We don't know who did the work. It's a giant secret. We know that by the time the FBI gets involved, the profile, the text file, that's a snip to use to try to identify somebody is more than twice as big when it gets to the FBI from Othram. We don't know how. We don't have any notes. We don't know who did any of the work. We don't have any lab protocols. We don't have any quality assurances. It's not reliable.
You're not asserting that Mr. Kohberger's DNA sample was uploaded into any of those databases, that his was, like, for example, his own DNA was one that was matched from the crime scene. Not asking whether the crime scene DNA was uploaded, but whether he had, as a, for example, customer of one of these companies, uploaded his DNA.
Well, you're
with that argument by himself, he knowing what he know about this case, because again, it's hard to believe that the judge by himself, and again, I cannot give the judge no benefit of the doubt. Why? Because allegedly he's one of the most professional judge. He actually supervised all the other judges in that courthouse. He's the one that
He's the head
assigned.
judge. He's the head
Yes,
judge. He's the
he
superior.
the big doggy,
Yeah,
big
he's
doggy
the
dog.
superior. There can
Right,
only be one superior, and he is it.
right. So if undoubtable and undisputed that this guy should should be on point at all time. So that means on his homework, that means on his dedication, administration. He has a staff that do homework with him, that sit there with him and study every single case. So for you to study every single case, you have to have what? All the information about the case, evidence, and all these other arguments and emails, and like the same thing. Let's say, for example, the side Ray put out there for the judge to listen. Hey, here in your face. Hey, thank you so much, very much. Listen, I'm credited. I'm knowledgeable. I created a system that you use.
Right.
Who you
Not only
talking
that,
to?
not only
Like,
that, a district court judge, they have to have a bar license. So he was an attorney before he was ever a judge.
right,
So he knows the laws.
right.
And as a judge, you're there to make sure everything's fair, and that's not happening.
He's supposed to be the. Hi, Joanne. Big shout out to Joanne again. He's supposed to be the overseer. And the overseer. If you ask me, hey Jrod, you're not a judge. I'm like, I have judged in my life, all my life, and that's why I'm alive. Do you think that I don't know how to judge shit? You talking to? You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, I know how to judge people, and I know how to profile, and I know how to listen. I know when you're sneaky. I 9 times out of 10 know when you're lying to me, even though it's cool. um, it's like I'm fully aware. I don't know. It's like sometimes that's why people be like, J-Rod, you set people for failure. It's like, no, they set their own self for failure. What are you talking about? It's none of my business if they smart or slow. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? It's like if I see there's something is fishy about you and I pull it out, like, yeah, now we know why you fishy. You don't blame me. It came out. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. But
I,
going
you
back,
know,
go ahead.
I see Amy saying, "Brother, he never read Latop files. He does not care." I'm gonna say I believe the judge is reading all the files, but what Ann is saying, there's a lot missing, and we need you to make them give it because Judge didn't make them turn it over.
And you know what the other thing though that's very important, that her calling it secrecy and secret, and this is materials that are essential in this case, and not be able to have them available to actually have an argument about it if that was possible.
Well, and no judge is gonna downgrade another judge, but let's be for real. Judge should have made the state supply all this, and he didn't.
Even just force a trial day, even though he knew it was about to be sent off somewhere else, so that forced the
Right.
other courthouse to adjust to that trial day.
So Judge Hippler needs to quit tippy-toeing around the situation that this information needs to be provided to the defense. It's not in the file. It needs to be provided. Where's it at? Where'd it go?
It, Raksha, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that if the district court do not move forward and allow those things far as the FBI go, that could be sent off to superior court though, because then remember it's a federal indictment.
Yeah,
And
they're saving that for their appeal.
right, you see, do you think they'll go now to superior, or they just
No,
gonna go to trial,
you can't
find
go
them
to
guilty, and just go to appeal? I
you
mean, you said,
can't you can't go to a superior until there's a ruling. There has to be a
ooh,
ruling. What do they have
mm.
to take to the superior, to the Supreme Court? There's no ruling.
But it far as pre-trial discrepant, like obvious discrepancy that the district court don't want to attend or don't want to handle properly,
Well,
like is
that'll
there
happen
any
in that.
chance is there any chance that if it's any shown of maliciousness or misbehavior or misjudgment from the district court, that it could be raised in superior court?
It'll be addressed after the trial.
Ooh, so
Because right now they
all
don't have
these.
anything to address it with. I'll tell you right now, usually your Supreme Court of the state is 8 judges from around the state that sit on that Supreme Court in that chair. And you
So
have
that,
to have something to take to them. And they're not going to take anything to them until this case is over because she will win it in appeal for it not being in the case.
so when judge give the trial date, right? Even though he was passing it to someone else, that means that he knew that it don't matter what the defense team would do with what in the way they did it. You feel me?
Right.
I'm talking about illegal loopholes, hiding the truth that they had a name
And
before
that's going to
everything
be
else
done
was
after
done.
this case. That'll be done
Right.
after this case.
And you know what's crazy? The side Ray just give it to the judge right now. He ignored the Frank hearing, knowing that something fishy was going
Oh,
on. You know
yeah.
what's crazy? And then you see in my overview, and I'm blindside like that though. If you consider that the judge already didn't proceed with a frank hearing, and it was obvious that the argument granted a frank hearing. It was just that the judge literally gave it the prosecution a pat on the back at the moment, because that's what it looks like. Even the judge
Yeah,
said it. They're
it's
like why you went against your rules and regulations to get this guy, and when you could have just done it, like, do it straightforward. Like, so that tells me that they
right.
just see some foul play there.
But Anne is saving that in case, for some ungodly reason, that they do find him guilty. She can
Right.
go back to the Supreme Court and take all this before them in an appeal
And you know what? I always
and win
been
it
trying.
and win it.
I always been trying, and I take your word for it though, because you know me though. I always try to give benefit of the doubt, and I always believe in justice, right? Even though I might knew better, but if you ask me, I always, even though I have my own bad situation with police contact and being locked up for a period of time and fighting the case for 2 years and a half, and I was totally innocent though. Um, and that's why it got dismissed. And it's like it don't matter that if that situation happened in my life. I always try to give police, like, I'm friendly and very cool with the local police here. Big shout out to APD. Um, and we have a relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's a community relationship. We do have that. I feel happy to say here in my microphone that I have a good relationship with our local law enforcement. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I recognize that it's bad apples everywhere,
Mhm.
and
But
also
you see what I'm saying? Because
you know
I
what I mean?
see Amy saying motions can be filed. Motions can be filed, but not with the Supreme Court. Not yet, because she's
And,
not going to open that basket of eggs yet.
and you know what though? And I think Amy Conway could agree with me in this though. And Rockshop, please correct me if I'm right or wrong. Um, if Ann Taylor motions were being even fairly considered, you know, it would have happened already. Like, this case would have be dismissed long time ago. You
100%.
know,
You're right.
you know what I mean? It's like every single motion that she had put in this case with her team are grantiful. Are grantiful. What I mean grantiful is they could be granted in full. Because the argument, when you read through it, is fair, is just. And if you ask me, if it wouldn't be just judge, if it was someone that is actually like either allegedly having something to do with the damage control of this case or whatnot for the state, you know what I mean? And or even if the judge was not able and capable mentally and physically to take care of this case, but it, I think we could agree that not just judge prepped up the soil for where this case for where they wanted to take this case to, which Rockchalk just confirmed that it's all the way to trial. It's like it do not matter what motions, like, you see, if you ask me, it don't matter Cyril, whatever he brought to the judge paper. I believe that the Judge Hippler is gonna just look over it, and he's just gonna continue and then gonna decrease Cyril credibility and be like, whatever Cyril brought to the table was not relevant enough. What we all know it is, but it was not enough for the judge to take a determination on it. But in the only way the judge could play that card as we speak is the gag order. Because if what the gag order would be out, we would be criticizing this judge worse than what we have right now.
Right. But I mean, the stuff that they're bringing out, we're criticizing because it's wrong. But my
Right.
question is, when, because if they did, I missed it. I don't know if Van Taylor, excuse me, filed anything with the Supreme Court so far, because she wouldn't have anything to file,
Right.
because you have to have rulings. Like, so do you
Yeah, I
know
agree.
of anything that she's had in the
I,
Supreme Court yet? Because I don't.
I think they did try go to Superior, and I think in a survey issue or whatnot, something else. I could be wrong, but the Superior Court told them that they need like you say, they need to have that resolution in
Right.
district court. Like
And
you
then
need
if
to
they
resolve
lose
that
it,
shit with them, and if it doesn't work out with them, then come up here.
yeah, and then if they, say they lose here, I see a lot of things happen after this case is done. It's going to get crazy. But anyway, it goes to the Idaho Supreme Court, and then if they still rule in favor of the state, then it goes to the U.S. Supreme Court. So she's got a lot of different steps, but they want to get this finished first. They have to have a ruling.
And you see though, for they literally prep everything and put it on their hands on a possible jury that is gonna be contaminated, and they know that.
Is it though? Is you think it's going to be contaminated? Because there's a lot of people
Yeah,
that has the
yeah.
same thing to me, and nothing's
Listen.
right.
If you ask me, it's gonna be actors. It's gonna be actors and actresses, crisis actors and actresses that are
Man,
part
I'd
of the
like to believe
community.
in the jury system that only takes one. Only
Listen,
takes one.
the people in power behind this case, covering this case and making it look like what it is right now, is such in power within the community that the community will call the sheriff about a survey. That's how connected the law enforcement and everybody knows everybody. You see, is more people in those localities that know each other than people that don't know each other. That's the other matrix. The survey did not did not even thought of, and it's the reality of why you didn't survey how much people in that locality are actually connected somehow through family, through work, college. That's a matrix that it was not never explored. Because I believe that if that matrix would have come out, you would have seen that literally, most likely, the majority of everyone and anyone in those localities are could be easily manipulated by default, because the people in power and who they connected to. You know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10 within Ann Taylor and Ann Taylor in the state, right? Even though Ann Taylor is totally not even thinking about that possibility, right? And she's just being naive about like, oh, that could have never occurred, right? And they
Mhm.
picking and choosing the jury with the state and Bill Thompson and whatnot. And everyone that Ann Taylor 9 times out of 10 she gonna pick and choose is people that most likely will convince her of what they say. And not just that, is she have to do somehow her own homework real quick though.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's
I'm
like,
gonna agree with Amy on the fact that she can file something with the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court is going to send it back and say, wait till this is done.
you
We're
know
not
that
going to address this.
I don't know if you could agree with me, Rock Shock, and you definitely gonna know better than me about this, but at least me on my take, for Ann Taylor to put a motion to Supreme Court uh based on malicious prosecution, in my opinion, uh she have to show something to Superior Court that includes the judge in some kind of malicious ruling, due to the evidence that they obviously know that is there. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? As far as
I
the
agree with that,
rulings,
but I also,
the rulings are are not based on facts. Their rulings are based on their own personal take, and because I have the power to take that ruling.
right. And this is what I feel is I feel she's pushing it as far as she can. Everything's taped. You got the stenographer that's in there keeping track of everything. And that's another reason why she would win appeals later down the road. She knows this. She
Right.
can win these in appeals. That's why she keeps bringing it up. But
Yeah,
you
I
don't
mean,
want to
she
cut
keep
the
bringing
chicken off at the neck.
mitigation. She keep bringing mitigation and stuff, that she got an expert mitigation. I think that was the first mitigation expert died, right? Rest in peace. Did you hear anything about it?
Yes. Yeah, I believe you're right on that.
Yeah,
I'm just
and
saying,
then it's
if
a
you
new
start,
one that hasn't catch up with the new work and whatnot, and they were asking the judge for more time about it.
she's got to be real careful because of the fact that, well, I mean, look at these other cases. I'm not going to say each one, but once they start going against the prosecution and against the judge, then they try to bring in new defense. You got to get new defense, and I don't want to see that happen. Like I think Ann Taylor does a good job, and she knows the plan.
I mean, do you think that the prosecution bringing this new state attorney, do you think that it shows weakness from the prosecution,
Absolutely,
or they just
I
try
think
to
it
pack
shows
a punch
weakness.
before trial?
I think it's to bring a guy in to see if he can go through the stuff and somehow
Have a better
address
argument?
the situation, which Bill Thompson can't. He's
Yeah,
going to
like
try to cover up for Bill Thompson. He's here to cover up for Bill Thompson. That's what I think.
kind of like Bill Thompson. Actually, he has failed in his argument because he already put the case in predicament, saying that Bryan Kohberger never harassed the victims and whatnot. Um, so put their own case, their own argument in predicament because the evidence that they allegedly is gonna bring to the table. But at the same time, it's like he always coughing, he's not healthy. They got excuses, you know what I'm saying? I said that he was about to be out way before trial. That was my hot take, and people was like, "Yo, J. Rod, you bugging."
I thought he was going to retire before trial. So,
Right, like it makes sense because he has not looked like he's gonna push the needle far as even though he's faulty evidence and not due process. It is somehow they're gonna prolong the argument, like you say, to leave it in the hands of jury. So it's like a gamble, you know what I mean?
right.
So it's like, I mean, you said that, well, again, you said that they're gonna find him guilty, and I feel the same way though. If he goes to trial, and I feel that it's a bigger chance that he gonna be found guilty due to the jury contamination. And I sincerely say that is my opinion, you know what I'm saying? And then, like you say, let's go to appeal, because then the books are gonna be open. Not just we don't have the law on our side, but now we have the public opinion on our side also.
Yeah, I'd like to know. I was trying to look it up. I can't find it. I'd like to know how many cases Bill Thompson's been in, murder cases, murder trials.
Well, this is the first case that he has applied for death penalty,
Yeah, that's what it's saying. But I was trying to see how many murder cases he's even been in.
right? Because they said that it's not that many in the area.
No, well, look at Moscow. They don't even do police reports. No report taken. So
Right, so right, and again, so how they because because you know
I'm
that
just saying.
to be good, you got to do things over and over. And then when ain't that the reason why he didn't see that he was snitching on the whole case when he said that Bryan Kohberger never, the for a fact Bryan Kohberger did not never harass the victims.
That's right. And then also think about this. He was making a certain amount of money before this case, and all these attorneys are making a whole lot more on this case.
It's like he haven't done his core calisthenics, core calisthenics in con law. Like it's like you have to practice and be in cases like especially these type of cases, because if you have not done like murder cases that are pretty serious, or that is not, because every murder case is serious, but in the manner of death is what it creates, like the gore of it, you know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah, but think about it. Look at all these. I believe they're homicides that they ruled suicides
Right.
that never
No,
made it
yeah.
before.
Oh, self-harm.
Yeah,
Mm. That's telling though.
but you see what I'm saying? Where they
Right.
was actually homicides, but they didn't rule them that way.
Is that you heard that case about the youngin found on the under the, like at the creek under the bridge?
Yeah,
Like, what's the reason for that? Thinking he's not even water in there, like he's frozen. Like, what are you talking about?
yeah.
He's
I'm
not
just
even gonna
been able
drown.
to push
Like,
things under the rug.
we put him on the creek and he drowned. He drowned asphyxiated, but he's no water. His nose is not frozen under the water or nothing like that. He just dumped there.
Yep. I'm getting
Wow,
off
we've been
topic.
looking into
Not
this
trying
though.
to do
Even
that.
forensic, I did look into the forensics a little bit about it, and it doesn't look like whatever they're talking about.
I agree.
Yeah. Big shout outs to you though. Thank you for the energy that you have given us to the today and the time. Because listen, you need to know that every little time that you spend with us, we appreciate.
Well, I like being here.
All right. You ready for more?
Yes, let's go.
Let's get it.
Your Honor, I
By
don't,
the way, before we continue, big shout out to the chat. Big shout out to Amy Conway, everyone that
Yeah,
is
they're
in the chat.
chatting over there. They're
Thank you
chatting
so
away.
much. I appreciate you though, especially Amy Conway, everybody else in the chat. I really do. I mean, I appreciate y'all, your comments, saying all the conversation that we got in the chat, moderated by all our beautiful and amazing moderators. Big shout out to the members and big shout out to the subscribers. Thank you so much.
don't have the JED.com file. I don't have,
You're not asserting that fact, correct?
Your Honor, I'm not,
Crime scene. Not asking whether the crime scene DNA was uploaded, but whether he had, as a, for example, customer of one of these companies, uploaded his DNA.
well, Your Honor, I don't have the JED.com file. I don't have,
You're not asserting that fact, correct?
Your Honor, I'm not sure what the court is asking me.
Well, it
Just
goes
say
to
he's
whether
trying
or
to
not your
confuse her.
client has standing to complain about the searches of the databases, because as the state has posited, that wasn't his DNA that was searched. At best, it was his ancestors.
Well, Your Honor, I am not sure why we're here if the state hasn't alleged that Bryan Kohberger's DNA was on the knife.
No, I'm not talking about the knife sheath DNA. I'm talking about what they tried to match it to.
Your Honor, I would answer it this way. The way that those databases work is looking for shared DNA. Those databases don't turn out a name and say this
I
is
have
your
a privacy
suspect.
interest against any of my relatives that might want to upload their DNA to one of those systems. I should be able to stop them from doing that because I share some DNA with them.
The argument tells me that he knows. Okay, he has to know something because the argument.
Not
That
only that, think about it. Not only that, look who just filed bankruptcy. 23andMe. I bet it's because of this case right here too. Because
oh,
when
they
you
look
do a
at they
DNA
look.
upload, you say that you don't want the police to be able to use it, and then they're going and using it anyway.
They smelling a lawsuit.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. They
Oh,
filed 23andMe filed bankruptcy.
and you know what though? But you know what? What I believe that the judge has to have some kind of extracurricular knowledge, right? Because having this situation of them having the name before the IGG work was done, the argument that the judge is giving to Ann Taylor right now is an argument of he knows that, let's say he's saying like, well, even though if um it was a name used to get to the family of him, like, do you expect that these family members have a privacy expectation?
I do. I believe that when you do agree to, track your family tree, that it's told to you that that's not going to be used for any kind of police work, but it is being used. And as of March 23rd, 2025, was just a couple of weeks ago, 23andMe filed bankruptcy, Chapter 11.
And you know what though? And they did use sites. They use sites that they could use, and they use sites that they could not use, just
That's
to
right.
double check.
They used family tree sites to do this.
And in reality, those sites that they could not use is an expectation of privacy, even though it's not case law. They back that up. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, it's an expectation of every user that DNA is not going to use for law enforcement purposes.
You want to make a bet? I bet Ann Taylor gets somebody that it specializes like with 23andMe, and why did they file bankruptcy? Why is that? Because the DNA samples were being used wrong, not what they
or
went
being
against their own ethical thing.
or being allowed to be used in the wrong way, and they
That's
smell
right.
loss and they smell lawsuit.
And 23andMe was huge, huge.
And you see another thing that is very particular about this whole thing, right? Is that okay? Even though if case law don't back that up, okay, cool. But in reality, if they going even against their own agency policies, it should be something. It should be enough for a frank hearing, because the judge acknowledged that they went against their policies to do this work. The judge
Am I
acknowledged
the
that.
only one that feels like Kipler's being combative with her too? I feel like he's being combative with her.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
I
I
don't know if
agree,
it's my
and that's why,
bitchy attitude or what, but
and
he's being
that's why
combative.
this is why I like the reason of the argument though. Like he talks like even if they have a name, because he's not saying even if they had a name, but in the way he's talking, he's talking to Ann Taylor right now in this argument, like do you expect that okay, this DNA left in the crime scene, right? And he's talking like, well, if we go and get the relatives in those sites illegally, because I mean, not again, it's not law and it's not case law. So literally, it's a legal loophole. It's a legal illegal loophole.
But when
So
you do 23andMe, because I did it, it says it will not be used for any kind of criminal stuff, anything. And
right,
he just smarted off. He's insulting her intelligence. He smarted off to her and said, "What? Am I just going to go tell all my family that they can't do any DNA? Wait till next time she goes to court and says, yeah, 23andMe's filed bankruptcy since we was in court last."
and you know another detail that you remember the judge actually allow uh all the Kohberger family to be in contact with him, and he didn't put no restrictions in that. I believe that Ann Taylor definitely. I mean, again, if I could think about it, she definitely had to be thinking about it because again, I'm expecting her to be a a higher IQ than myself or whatnot. But just think about it for a second. Soon as judge allow her and didn't put no restrictions to reach out to the family members that she already spoke anyway. Like she already reached out everyone, right? And the judge did not make a case against that though. She will be able to have what she needs, right? To compare any IgG work, because if this is the whole point of keeping the IgG in secret for the simple fact that it if you work any IgG, it was because again it is proof that you had a name before the work. So whatever you did, you fish for his family, family members and family tree, and whatever IgG work that you did was an IgG work that it will match with any DNA that it came out of that family. So that's why when the IgG told him that that DNA on the trash can, it was 100 to 100 match, and it was the parent. They say it was a match, but then it was the parent of the killer. How they know that? Like
Yeah,
what you
and
have
I
to
see
figure
in
out
the comments, he's saying it's probable cause and that's enough. No, it's not enough.
right.
They went with the IgG, they went with the DNA, they went with the family member's DNA. What got them there?
That's what I'm
They're throwing
saying.
out what got them there.
And that's why the IgG is so secretive, and they don't even want to use it. They don't even want to make it a issue because they already have a match. But again, you have a match, you have to show the work.
Right. And I don't care if they got a tip. Listen, I could give a tip about my neighbor across the street. That don't mean they're guilty.
And then having the AT&T data, like literally like way before it.
I mean, they
You know
could
what I
have put
mean?
your name in the tip. You see
I
what I'm
eh,
saying?
I did put my name on the tape too.
I know you did, but I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
They ain't even investigated that shit, and I know that for a fact because they would have some kind of results.
There you go.
Shit. Big shout out to you, Mama. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's get it.
That is certainly not what I'm saying. What I am saying, Your Honor, is if somebody takes your DNA and uploads it, I think you have a privacy interest in your own DNA. It
Not necessarily in, let's say my DNA is taken lawfully. What privacy interest do I have in the search of the DNA of others?
Cause you don't even know whose DNA is in that sheath, right? Okay. That's first and foremost. You do not know at this point whose DNA is in that sheath. The IgG work that they put together was based on a name. So the work that is gonna come out of the FBI is gonna show that, and that's why it's hidden. And then it was buried behind an opinion of their expert saying that, in my opinion, whatever work was done with a name is Bryan Kohberger, but she had to say that in her opinion because she already know what was the name used to get to the IgG work, and then have a match created by them that it will match this particular family. That was a 100 to 100% match. That's how good of a sample they have.
Not only that, I'm going to throw you for a loop here. So what? So somebody narked and said it was BK, okay?
Right.
Whatever. And so Moscow's going to go that way. Say, because we don't know when the sheath was actually planted there. Okay, we know
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't
Allegedly.
the first one.
Right, right,
Didn't
right,
see
right.
it. Didn't
No,
see
but
it.
I agree with you.
How quick could they have ran to BK's office, used a piece of tape, got his fingerprint, and put it on his sheath and put it under Maddie? They could have did it that quick.
You know what though? That's what I was saying. That as long as you have DNA,
Mm-hmm.
right?
But
You
I
have
could
a
put your
DNA
DNA
match.
anywhere.
But I feel that all this situation was put together, fishing his DNA. It was a hunt for his DNA. This is in my opinion. All these lies and everything they put together, it was because they already shows him as a fall guy, and they literally did whatever legal illegal they needed to do with legal illegal loopholes and in lies and stuff, and making it look like something is a certain way, but it's not. um the only, again, I say and I repeat, we excuse, in my opinion, they went we excuses fishing to have a legal reason to be where they were, to fish family DNA that they knew in the back of the head they would give a positive. And that's how you get DNA, because you did not have DNA. You
Right.
just have to have a paperwork, somebody to push it, somebody for the affidavits. Like you just need names behind these words, that these people that is literally putting their careers in the line. They putting their freedom on their line. If ever gets to find that all this stuff was done purposely, it has to be a proof of negligency. It has to be a proof of bad training. It has to be proof of that it was no malicious intent behind it. Because if you ask me, if any malicious intent was in this case, I believe that it is gonna be law enforcement and probably FBI that they are gonna get some kind of legal repercussions.
Oh,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
for sure. It wasn't because they was being lazy. It's because they don't got it. They can't prove how they got it, and they don't want to prove how they got it because they did it illegally.
Because again, if you have this man by the book, and again, is the FBI, is it what, 98, 99% of conviction?
I mean, the FBI, they do a lot further digging. That's why they use them. They got a lot more technology than little old Moscow house
Because
or the VI, the ISBI.
right, because having that such a high rate of conviction, I believe that every time the FBI is mentioned on any criminal case, is the information that it should come from them, not just has to be legit, but it has to be official. Because one thing is being legit and another thing is being official. Because one thing could
Well,
be legit, but if it's not, that legitness is not made official, you feel me?
yeah, but also the FBI don't have the best track record either.
Yeah, Forrest, yes,
So,
I agree with you.
yeah,
Forrest has the
any
bad
federal
apples and
government
stuff.
agency right now is in trouble.
Right.
So their efficiency is not as good as people think it is. I'm just going to say that.
And again, you see that we deficiency far as corruption, as far as bad training and far that's all there. We understand and we call them the bad apples. It is not that they're not capable to bring justice the right way. Again, big shout out to the FBI for those good ones that they are there fighting the good fight. But at the same time, it's hard for me to understand how can this be done without any kind of malicious intent, because it's too many humans involved in this whole procedure.
Yeah,
It
not only
is
that, the
someone
FBI is being revamped as we speak. They know there's problems with the FBI. There's
so
problems. They're trying to do completely away with ATF. Why? Because they've gotten laxed and they don't do their job like they're supposed to. They're revamping all of that.
and but you see it being so much people involved in this case, don't you think that if it was any discrepancy, someone that actually with a good heart and morals would have said something? Because that this puts a lot of officers from Moscow PD and the FBI, again,
And
not
the
a
FBI
lot, but
don't want to give
it's a
them
little
the work.
group. It's a little group that this task force that it was this particular task force that was put together for this were working together, and they knew the information at all time. Ashley Jennings, it was part of knowing everything and knowing that what was being done is not due process.
Yeah, but you
that
know what?
that's how deep this
Even
ran.
look how many cases they probably did that wasn't due process, but the world didn't become interested in them cases.
Right.
I
Oh my
think the
god.
publicity of this case is what has got this case so far along as we've gotten, because people's paying attention. They're not just behind closed doors getting to make rulings, because we're going to question every bit of it.
Yeah, you're right though. You're right. We're questioning it right now, and we are talking to Rock Shock True Crime, and we're talking about the Idaho 4 Bryan Kohberger case. Let's continue.
That's a loaded question.
Why is it a loaded question? Isn't it a factual question?
Well, it is, Judge, but you're assuming that the DNA was taken lawfully, and our position.
I agree that part is an assumption. In my hypothetical, I said my DNA was taken lawfully. Why would I have standing to object to the search of other people's DNA simply because I might share some genetic information with them because they are distantly related to me?
Well, Your Honor, our position is that this work was not done lawfully, that it was unlawful, that there needed to be a warrant, that this was done outside of a warrant. And I'm not asserting on behalf of anybody else in this, any relative, anybody who might have been named or not named. This is about an identification process. It needed to be a lawful process. It wasn't a lawful process. It was in violation of Mr. Kohberger's rights. I don't know how he cannot.
How is it in violation of his rights?
Excuse me?
He just said the same thing the judge said that day in court.
Right. I mean, they're just trying to throw her off her game.
Big shout out to Heather Fitzgerald. Thank you for being here. Very appreciated. Big shout out to Rachel Smith. Thank you so much for being here. Very appreciated. Big shout out to everyone in the chat. Amy Conway. We got my Rastafari. We have many other people in the chat. Thank you so much for everyone to be here today. We're talking to Rock Shock True Crime. Did you see that he said that like the judge said like whose rights we violating?
Not only that, you got to realize this too. They're not going to try to downgrade on the feds and saying they got this illegally, and he's trying to throw her off her game by saying, "Well, how are you saying they got it illegally?" Well, FBI's not giving Moscow the paperwork that they did. There's no paper trail. Why?
I mean, the state, the far we know, the state have mentioned that there is certain materials that they requesting that they
FBI
don't even
wouldn't do it.
they don't even exist. And
Right.
then it's other materials like the cast, the cell phone data cast that it was put together by Maury for the secret grand indictment. Maury deleted all the files. So then now Maury cannot give the prosecution because they don't have it. He deleted it. The how he got to the conclusions to the route that he said that Kohberger took, the possible route. But then that same work, Red looked at it and he's a whole bunch of stuff missing. And again, yeah, the stuff that he deleted. So then now Ray cannot confirm, not even we a test drive, because the house is not even there. So the signals are not gonna bounce the same way. He said it.
Not only that, the FBI's trying to say, well, they didn't have that kind of technology then, and Cyray's saying bullshit. I even know the guy who does it.
Facts.
It don't go through regular channels. Here's the guy's name who's been doing it since what, 2017?
People that is already well known.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
didn't use regular chain of command. They didn't use regular chain of command for that. Cyray knows the exact guy who does it for the FBI, not regular police, the FBI.
and you have Maury testifying that he know they have full awareness that yes, these particular FBI agents had a way to get to cell phone data and cell phone records without the probable procedure.
Correct.
Wow. So
And you
yeah,
know what? I don't know how late you're going to go. I'll go as late as you want to, but if you want to pick this up again, you let me know, and I'll make
so
it here.
you know what though? We could, yeah, if you want, would you want to step back and rest and be in the chat?
Well, I was just going to say, then you could catch up on chat, and then that gives you content for tomorrow night too. We can pick up where we live off. You go as long as you want.
So you know what though? That makes sense to me.
Because
It's
3
fair.
o'clock for me. I don't know what it is for you, but it's
And
3 a.m. for me.
And you know what is fair? Because I think the conversation that me and you had has been great content that I believe a lot of people could appreciate. Because listen, believe me and you, is a lot of people in the true crime community right now that if they ever catch up with this live stream, they're gonna hear so much information that I bet they even miss far as this case. Because I believe, if you listen, correct me if I'm wrong, but me and you, for a quick second that we popped that you came up to be, we literally download a whole bunch of information that is really critical in this case. Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. And you listen, I can go all night because I remember somebody had me on the panel, and you were gone, and you remember that? I stayed on your panel the whole time. You had to go take care of the
No,
kids.
listen,
And
we have
Johnny Depp trial come up. I still had like 30 people in chat, and I said, "Well, listen, guys, I'm ready to go to bed, but if you want to stick around, I'm just gonna let you know that."
yeah, you know what though? I
remember
gotta
that?
say, that I appreciate your energy, and every time we have done work together on live streams,
It's always
I
been
have
good.
been great live streams. Again, is time worthy, is information worthy, and I really appreciate the chemistry that we have to develop the information and bring it to the people. I really do appreciate.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
So
And
guys,
I'm
how
not telling
about
you to
how?
quit, so I didn't want you to think that. I'm
No,
down to come
no.
back if you need me to.
You know what though? I think we have done good enough work for tonight, and it's like you said, we could have some more voice and energy for tomorrow. That'll be great, and that'll give me a part two for this title, and I really do appreciate you if you pull up and we could have more conversations about it.
Sounds great. I'm going to drop down from the panel so you can say hi to everybody, but I think it's the perfect time. And you just let me know. You got my number. Just let me know when you want me back. If you're going to do it tomorrow, I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do that tomorrow. That'll be great. So like that, we could probably have the conclusion of this topic though.
Sounds great. Much love to you, brother. Much love to chat. I'll see you tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, This is the honorable, the beloved Rock Shock True Crime. Rock Shock Nation, round of applause, everyone. Big shout out to Rock Shock. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for the sponsorship. Thank you for the great commentary, energy, and chemistry. Amazing. Thank you so much. We need to do this a little often. Um, Thank you so much. Ladies and gents, Rock Shock True Crime. Thank you for being here. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think that if you ask me, we have covered and has a very amazing conversation with Rock Shock and in the chat, the community. I gotta say that I'm very honored to be here with y'all. I think by now y'all could tell I do care. I care about the community. I care about the topics that we talked about. I care about the content creators, even though if y'all see me, showing tough love. I do care for the chat. I do care for the subscribers, members, moderators. Without you guys know me in this YouTube career as a true crime content creator, to everyone that is listening right now, thank you. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. This is a great opportunity. YouTube is a great platform. You to have amazing people to talk to collaborate with. And it's a privilege for me to have the opportunity to be part of this beautiful YouTube hemisphere in true crime and have conversations with y'all about topics that we actually care and concern and look forward to talk about. Big shout out to Amy Conway, big shout out to my Rastafari, big shout out to Rock Shop, big shout out to Heather Fitzgerald. Thank you so much for being here, spending time with us, having conversations. It's always a good time, it's always a good experience, it's always something good to take with us as soon as the camera shut off. Big shout out to everyone. Let me get to the chat before we go. The Conway, I agree. We Rock Chalk. In my opinion, FBI could not connect BK. Told Moscow don't use the IGG, and Moscow did what they wanted. Facts. I mean, I believe that they all part of the whole movement. Cause remember, they were located in the same offices and whatnot, like in the same barricades, like wherever they were located, they were like in the same room type of, you know what I mean? So everything they put together, it was together, you know what I mean? The FBI was running the show, and Moscow PD was the pawns. You know what I mean? Like Moscow PD was only pawns just to keep to do whatever they needed to do, and it made it look like it was a collaboration, which it was, but at the same time, if it was a collaboration, whatever consequences comes out of this case of discrepancies in due process and malicious prosecution and whatnot, they're all gonna have to pay together. All the legal and lawful consequences that might come if ever gets to be found that it was foul play in this investigation and whatnot. They're all gonna have to pay together whatever that whatever legal consequences is out of that. because they cannot start pointing fingers because they all did it together. Big shout out to Rachel Smith. Thank you so much for pulling up. She said there was a discrepancy concerning the weight of drugs being disposed by Moscow PD, James Fry, wife, Julie Fry. The court clerk was cooking the books for him. Oh my God. Allegedly, yeah. You know what I mean? There's a lot of conversation behind the characters that he will part of the decision in making in this case, though. You know what I mean? Big shout out to everyone watching. Thank you so much. Very so much appreciated. 2 o'clock in Costa Rica. It was it was an amazing live stream. The chemistry, the conversation, amazing. Amazing. I really want to have few probably new content creators and some OGs pulling up and talk to us in the chat and talk to us over here on the panel. Hopefully we get the OGs pulling up, you know what I mean? Because I tell you what, it's great conversations to have. The vibe is right. And if you ask me, it's time to unify the true crime community little by little. I know it's a tough mission to accomplish, but wherever is a will, is a way. Make sure that y'all believe in yourself, because I believe in you. If I did it, you could do it too. I ain't nothing special. I believe that you're going to take the best decisions in your life for yourself and for everyone around you. It's your favorite brother, your mother's favorite son, the Black Sheep, Jrod on Point. Thank you so much for everyone in the chat, all the moderators, members, all new members, subscribers. Thank you so much for passing by and give us your benefit of the doubt. It's very appreciated. Forgive me if I don't get to all the comments, but you know me, 9 times out of 10, I don't get to all the comments, but actually I just did. So big shout out to everyone. Thank you so much. It's your host, Jrod on Point for tonight. Have a good night, everyone. Make sure y'all hit the Cash App. Make sure that you show the love, send the coffee. We appreciate you for all the donations and everything, all the gifted. We appreciate from the bottom of my heart, the family appreciate, the company appreciate it. Have a good night, everyone. I'm gonna leave you with your favorite song, You So Sexy. Have a good night, everyone.
Come over here and let me know your name, boy. Your sexy smile got me checking for your seal. You caught my eyes and I'm seeing if you're single. Do you wanna get to know me? Sexy, sexy, sexy.
cinturón pa' que no te vayas a marear, porque este viaje te va a enamorar.
Damn, Papi, nah, it's been on you all night.
Yo, baby boo, you know that I got you.
You know you are so sexy.
Oh, by the way, what's your number?
508, I'll give it away.
Oh, for sure.
Keep it on the low, alright?
Gianna!
Done daddy. The way you look, the way you dress, it has me speechless. I can't wait, won't hesitate to share in your caress. I get the butterflies when you're around me. I'm so curious and wanna take you home with me.
Desaparecer, llegando al mundo de la fantasía, para que te des de cuenta que entre tú y yo, mujer, el mundo vamos a recorrer en primera clase, para que nuestras pasiones se puedan desenvolver. Y no es nada raro, y como todo empezó, tú me gustaste y yo te gusté. Ahora es que es cámara, luces, acción, y ten cuidado que el volcán está haciendo erupción.
Sexy.